Previously on Rise of the Runelords. After sneaking into the fort and making their way to the marshal's room, our heroes did what heroes do best, beating an already sleeping person unconscious and stealing his things. Delighted at this success, they made their way to the lower levels in search of the locked and guarded vault. Geisen's successful suggestion spell significantly swayed said sentries into supportive and sympathetic associates. Now past the locked and guarded door, the group used a magical whip taken from the Baroness's room to subdue a pair of ill-tempered manticore. They then spoke the magic word, opened the vault, and borrowed the requested tome, along with 6,000 gold and various magical items that most likely won't be missed at all. Flush with success, the group beat a hasty retreat back to the fort's sewer to escape. Things were going great until Icky, carrying the still unconscious Marshal on his shoulder, performed a graceless swan dive onto the sewer stones below. With guards in pursuit, the group slunk carefully into the forest. It was then that temporary ally Mary and her cat Hacker decided to part ways with the group, but not before reminding them that their unconscious Marshal could be used as a locating beacon for the wizard back at the fort. After some deliberation, including an absolute no from Grelva, the Marshal was left alive, if alone and terrified, in the woods. Safe, sleepy, and self-satisfied, our party decided to rest before continuing back to Sandpoint. Today, the adventure continues.
Grelda pulls out.
I'm gonna feed the horses.
Grelda pulls out a cider and begins her breakfast.
I was actually, you would be waking up right around dawn. It is 2 days since you left Sandpoint. You are about halfway. It took you the better part of the day, and you've gone about halfway from the fort in Galdoria to where you are now. Or I'm sorry, halfway from the fort in Galdoria to Sandpoint. You're about halfway. I would say right now you're probably somewhere in this neighborhood. Took you longer because you were going along the road.
Without being on the road.
Yeah. Can you remind me what happened to our friends from work?
As you were coming out, Diranor, was out creating a distraction singing, and Fennec was sent to find him
and make sure he got away safely.
Meet you guys back at Sandpoint. So, as he peeled off, it was the last time you saw him.
Okay.
And that was pretty much immediately after you left the fort.
Okay.
And you are awake. Lars, just so you know, your torch trick, because of the amount of fire, it would probably just get you to tonight.
Okay.
Because it wasn't a roaring flame. Just so you know. Alright, so then the sun has come up, everybody is waking up. I believe... Were you doing the last watch, or was Tarny doing the last watch?
I was.
I was
not the last one.
You were, yeah, because Geisen was first, Vicky was second, Tarny was last.
I was at the meat and a watch sandwich.
Ooh. A fluffy sandwich? Or feathery sandwich? Feathery meat?
Would you like a shovel? He's
I
talking
just
about
keep
killing
talking.
birds and putting them in a sandwich.
Yep. Don't know how we're gonna pluck that one out of the fire.
Oh my. Nice.
I quit.
Fuck you guys, I'm going home.
Morning,
Yes.
everyone.
Yeah.
Fed the horses, let them get fed, and then Nick, you want to take rear guard? Geisen, come up front with me, and let the ladies meander.
Brief, kind of out of character question. Like,
Oh god, no.
we have the book. Were you gonna do anything about, since that was your motivation for joining us in the first place.
Well, I am going to be next to Tarnan, so we'll probably discuss that.
Okay.
No, it's fine.
Because,
No,
we
I
were
get
told
it.
not to touch the book, so I just want to make sure we all know.
That we're going to touch the book.
That's all. Hi, Samishi.
Thanks for bringing that up.
You're welcome.
It's amazing. You found the right people just in time.
Alright, so who will be helming this little expedition as you make your way off?
Quick note, I've got a flying bird now that we could try riding to town.
What?
No.
Can you use that whenever?
I
Or?
would like.
It's a one-time use, is
Stay.
it not?
Isn't it? Is it?
I honestly am not sure.
I would like to stay low profile.
What?
The-
Flaming bird seems perfectly low profile.
I'm thinking your version of low profile and mine are somewhat different.
A bird flying on a flying bird would be really kind of ironic.
Because the way it doesn't read like it gets consumed.
So you
This
don't
tiny
eat it?
object looks like a feather. You can use an action to toss a token 5 feet into the air. The token disappears and an enormous multicolored bird takes its place. The bird has the statistics of a rock, but it ROC.
Wrong kind of rock.
But it obeys your simple commands and can't attack. It can carry up to 500 pounds while flying at its maximum speed, 16 miles an hour for a maximum of 144 miles
150,
per day, with a 1 hour rest for every 3 hours of flying.
Look at the tags, it's consumable.
I'm going. No, it's not.
It is.
No.
And you can dismiss it as an action, so it is a one-time use. Because it specifically says it's consumable.
I see.
But even then,
I mean, you could use it. I'm
It's
just
probably,
letting you know that
it's
it's
probably
not a
worth it to just
multi-use
Uber
thing.
it to the...
Oh yeah,
No,
absolutely.
no.
Never mind.
no.
I retcon everything that I just said.
No, that's all good.
Oh, well, I don't have to say no.
Because in the description, I mean, it says you dismiss as an action, but it does not specifically call out that it doesn't. It's tagged as.
Yeah,
consumable.
I did not see the tag.
Can we retcon all the way back to Monday when he asked if we had anything we wanted to print out? Oh no, that was just this morning, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay.
No,
No, that was
I
2
asked
days
Monday. I asked yesterday as well.
You did. It's true. We were very sad.
I give you guys many chances.
Right, including today when we were actually about.
And then I printed out a cookie that looked like a printout of a cookie
Where's
on top of a
Yeah,
cookie,
where is
and then I
this?
ate it because it looked good.
Oh.
Because it looked like a cookie.
That tastes like cookie?
No, tasted like paper,
Oh.
but it looked delicious.
I mean, was it like good?
High in fiber.
Was the ink good? I mean, was it?
All kind of blended together.
So anyway, march
As we
along.
were.
Okay.
Are you asking who's in front? You were.
Who is leading you through the woods?
Gyson, come with me. We will be at the front. Icky, do you mind taking rear guard?
Be fine.
Fantastic. Why are you sighing again?
You don't think it's been since we killed something?
You want to go run around and find a squirrel or something? Would that make you feel better?
No, I just
Okay.
want to get back.
All right, then you two separately or one of you together give me a survival check.
Separately?
Separately or together, or one of you with advantage. I mean,
A
I
survival?
might have a...
survival.
Oh, I do not have a high survival.
Oh.
Also, I tweaked the colors of all of your
why don't
guys'
we both
D&D
do it?
Beyond sheets.
I noticed that.
And if you want to change it to something different, you're more than welcome. I found out that you could tweak the themes, and I'm like, ooh, click.
14.
Of course, the DM would go power.
I got 11, so you should probably go with your 14.
Okay, let's go to 14.
14? Alright. Again, I mean, you're making your way through the forest. It is taking you a while. You are going at a slow pace.
Yeah.
For 5 hours in, since you have woken up, you haven't heard any horses or anything along the road. Because you are, if you were staying the same as you were before, you're staying a few hundred feet from the road, so it's just in sight. Okay. Then yeah, you continue on. After about 6 hours, can you give me another survival check?
I can.
Yeah. but
Again.
What are your guys'?
14.
It
Again?
would be worth
Nice.
it to rotate
6.
me in.
So-
6?
You're just not good at this, are you?
Not.
Alright.
I told you I had a little survival.
Look, we need to have a talk.
For survival.
Alright, so you continue,
We
and
need to have a talk.
you don't hear. I'll just let you know. You don't hear anything on the road again. You can have your conversation.
Sweet.
I've managed to survive all this time, so I can't be that bad at survival.
True. How often do you run around out in the woods by yourself? Or with a couple of friends?
Not very
Would you
often.
call us friends yet?
Yeah,
Or just acquaintances?
I think we're getting to be friends.
That's good. So I got a serious question for you. Don't try to read into this too much, but what is it? What is it that you're looking for? What are your goals? What? I'm trying to be the leader of the situation, and my definition of leader, I need to understand my followers, my acquaintances, my friends' goals, so I can lead them to it. If I don't know what your goals are, I can't get you there, because I've made a recent change, very large change in my life, and you can ask questions about that. Eventually I'll have the courage to tell everyone. And I know I can't accomplish everything that needs to be accomplished on my own. I'm looking for a group that just happened to be handed to me in Sandpoint, basically. I'll shut up for a few minutes and let you answer the question, though. Where is it that you see yourself going? What is it? What are your goals, so I can try to keep your goals in line with everyone's, if I'm going to lead?
Alright, before you answer, Dyson. Just for the party's knowledge, are you having a whispered conversation away from everybody, or is this a normal conversation tone? Just so everybody is on the same page on what people are and are not.
We are ahead by 50 yards, 25, 30 yards, something
Okay.
like that. So if they had like their little hearing cones in and wanted to hear, they might pick up some of it, maybe most of it, but probably not all of it.
Alright, I just want to make sure everybody, you're all on the same in-character page on who is here.
Roger.
That's all. Just
Makes sense.
so you guys are ahead. You're
Yes.
having a conversation that is meant to be private.
Yeah.
Okay, just
As far as everyone else knows, we're talking about how to make sure he survives because his role's kind of. Well, anyhow.
I don't know why, but I have a feeling every time he tries to do something, it's awful.
No, there are some things he really excels at, and I'm glad he's on my team. But there are some things he does really bad at, and I'm glad I'm on his team.
Well put. Yeah, my original goal, I don't really want to get into, but I would say that has morphed a little bit, and now I'm just kind of along for the ride. Just kind of seeing where adventure takes us.
Fair. So I really don't have a lot of idea on how to improve your ride, or where it is that your end goals are, but hopefully eventually you'll get to the point where you can divulge more information, and maybe I can make you more powerful. Because look, again, where I'm heading, I'm going to need a really strong team. And even if I'm the leader, I'm more of a manager, and you guys will be the talent. Again, some point maybe I will be able to give more detail on that and feel comfortable about it without sounding insane. I mean, fuck it, let's just jump off a cliff. Tarnan literally looks around to see how far back everyone else is. I respect that you went to school and studied magics. My mother, actually, was very similar. She attended, I can't remember the name of the university, but she was a mage. I don't know what the hell I am. And I cast, what the hell do I cast? The hand. What's the hand?
Mage hand.
Thank you. I cast Mage Hand, just that I didn't do things. I never went to schools. I don't have the blood for it as far as I know, because there's something called a sorcerer or something like that, where I guess they have dragon lines or I don't know, whatever. My mom used to talk about it.
You're good at doing it subtly, I'll say that.
I'm a freak. I don't know where all of it comes from, and I know where some of it comes from. And
I would say that makes you a freak. I think you have a lot of talents, and those magical skills are just a part of your arsenal of talents. Doesn't make you a freak.
Geisen, I'm literally stealing power from a being outside of this reality and causing it to be here. I cancel the spell. If it's not a freak to you, that's pretty freaky to me. I don't understand all of it. Sometimes I just want it to happen, and it happens.
Do you want to tell me how it started?
Ask me again sometime.
It's fair. You don't have to divulge anything that you don't want to.
But if it can keep us alive, Icky knows, because I literally pulled his soul back from oblivion and stuffed it back in his body.
If you had ears, they'd be burning.
His feathers kind of fluff up.
I've used it to pull life energy from I don't know where and put it back into somebody. I don't know that mages do that. I mean, do you know? Do they do that? Is that a thing?
It's not something that I've really heard of, no. But there are many different forms of magic, many different sects of people that study magic.
Again, no study though.
But I'm sure there are people out there that know about what this is, what this means. To me the important thing is it sounds like you're using these talents for good. You're not using them in an evil way.
Under fear of an incineration. Yeah.
Why are you afraid of being incinerated?
The aforementioned being that I'm pulling this from is flame. Massive. It's awe-inspiring.
Can I do like a Arcana check to see if any of this jogs any bells as far as my training or whatever?
What specifically are you trying to?
I don't know, fire being from another realm being,
I would
souls
actually
being...
say that would probably be more of a religion check. If he's talking about a being granting power, I would give you a religion check. If you want, if you're trying to figure out the kind of being that he's talking about, it would be a religion check. If you're trying to figure out more about where his power is coming from, that I say might be an Arcana check. It depends on which route you're trying to figure out.
I'm kind of trying to figure out both.
Give me both.
That's a good scholar. Come at it from all the angles.
So...
Do religion first.
Ooh. 9.
-1. Okay. Then do an Arcana.
72.
25.
Oh, shit.
Zero.
Okay. So as for where his power is coming from, you are very aware of... you're very aware of beings, gods, or even those a step below them, giving their power in exchange for something as kind of a contract for like warlocks. Like you are aware that this happened, and from everything you are being told by Tarnin. You are guessing that's the
Okay.
route. You are putting 2 and 2 together that there is some extraplanar being that granted Tarnin power in exchange for something.
Okay.
Because that's how that's how that works. He hasn't specified what, but you know that there needs to be an agreement for that being's power to pass down. As for what that being is, you're not able to really... nothing in your past would have given you clairvoyance as to what that would be. But you are aware of the Warlock Pacts, and that's exactly what this sounds like to you.
Okay. Would I be aware of if that kind of pact can be dissolved? If it has an ending?
There is not like an escape clause so much. It's a mutual agreement that power will be given when something is like in return for something.
Indefinitely?
And unless somewhere specifically in that agreement it says it ends. And you are also aware that not all, but the majority of these pacts lean heavily towards the entity's side. Like there are many entities that use these pacts for their own nefarious means.
It's like
There are
making a
some
deep-
that use them for good, but a lot of them are archfays, and they use them for nefarious purposes. They grant people power in exchange for control.
So it's like making a deal with the devil.
You know that the majority of Warlock pacts fall into that category. Not all of them. There are good aligned entities that make these pacts as well, but a lot of them fall into that deal with the devil kind of category.
Okay. So, can I ask what your goal with all this is? Are you just trying to understand it? Are you trying to get out of it? Are you trying to learn how to harness it?
Harness it, understand it, come to acceptance with it. I'm being asked to do something, and I know that I can't do it alone, so I'm kind of roping our
You get the
fledgling
lucky shot.
group, our fledgling company into it. But I believe it's a good thing.
I feel so pinned in.
Is this thing related to any of the things we've been doing so far?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you don't have to tell me about it. I mean, one
Well,
thing I
I-
will.
I feel I do need to tell you about it because when I picked you as my lieutenant, I had in mind you keeping an eye on me because you understand more about Arcane than anyone else here, as far as I know.
It's probably fair.
What? Your lack of faith shakes me to my core.
It can claws arcanely.
Arcana cider
Arcane.
could be a brand name. Maybe.
Ooh, yeah.
Girlish feelings are hurt, and she doesn't know why.
She bears her sorrows inside her. That was accidental.
That actually took me a second as well, but that's fantastic.
She should get an extra level.
The pun
for that,
trophy.
Honestly. That was good.
Perfect.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt. You're very emotional.
No, that was good. Now I've completely lost the mood.
Can I
Nope.
ease your troubles with a rabbit?
I don't. Well, maybe. I do. I choose you. I do.
You're gonna have to remember that one for another intro.
Expect you to be a lieutenant in this company that I envision us building. Keeping an eye on me, and if you see me getting out of control, at least tell me about it, because I don't know how far this is gonna go.
Do you feel like you lost control from it before, or have you been
No.
able to? No. You just don't really know how far
I haven't
it's-
lost control, but again, it's right there. Like right under the surface, it's just at my beck and call, and if I have a moment and it gets out of hand, I want at least one person to be aware to watch for it. Because I'm serious, I intend to lead, and I intend to make us strong enough and allied enough that we can deal with it. I mean, I can't even give you all the details because I don't have all the details. But what's coming, we need to be stronger. We need to be greater than what we are. I hate you.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Gonna need a
That's exactly where I went.
You were restraining yourself so hard. You were.
Even looking at a
Muttered it.
montage.
Sorry. That was my contribution.
But yeah, when I call you lieutenant, it's for a purpose. I expect you to live up to that, and I know I have no right to just throw that on you any more than I had right to say, "Hey, yeah, I'm leading." But I intend to make this group, this upstart family, powerful, great, and well intentioned.
Well, I think you're a natural leader, and I don't think you've really sought that mantle. I think people have just naturally looked to you for it.
Captain, this is taking forever. Can we, nobody has come in, a day and forever. Can we just get on the road and get back so we can
On
find
the
shit
road
to
again.
kill again?
I'm glad she's on our team, and there are days where I really just want to end her myself. I mean, just a minute, Sanishi. We're almost finished here.
Your first duty as lieutenant.
Do you have a spell that can?
Silence. We know he's got that one.
I mean, there are definitely ways. Are they reversible? Is the problem.
Yeah, okay.
Or is it a problem?
Maybe that's my penance for. Yeah, I'll take it as that. It's my penance.
No one deserves this.
Snushi's a punishment no one should have to bear.
Oh.
Relda's like, I don't deserve punishment.
Alright.
You deserve it.
But yeah, I mean, I intend to stick with this group for a while.
A while? I mean, can I rely on you, or are you gonna just disappear at a certain point? Do I need to know anything that you got in a couple of weeks, 2 fortnights from now, whatever? I got a split. I got this thing
A pregnant wife.
that would.
I'm just saying.
You're not there.
Little gnome on the way.
Littler gnome.
They come smaller.
Picturing this little thing with a head.
Yeah, Ollivander has an egg.
But the gnomes grow in gardens, though, so they're different.
That's what they do. They plant the eggs. And then
They're
they
Easter
grow.
eggs.
you see the red hat pop up, and that's how you know they're ready.
Come on.
They look like mushrooms to some people.
You just reach down and you yank it out. It's a little naked gnome ready.
They're called mandrakes when they're that small.
Oh, God. I hope it's not that loud.
It's a baby. What do you think you're having?
Nothing with lungs that small should make that much noise.
Could be a deal with
Trust me, as a
a
grandfather,
being
I
from
know.
another realm.
It's not about the lungs.
Some sort of demon thing.
It's about
Anyway.
the box.
So,
Ah.
aside from the child that doesn't exist, is there any other reason that you'd be leaving us in a hurry? Just getting us back on track.
Thanks. Yeah, I mean, you got us off track. So. Fair.
I don't have anything pressing, but I would say so far, I feel like we're a group of convenience, and we're growing into more than that, but at the moment I don't know that we have that large of a goal keeping us together. it sounds like you have a goal for us.
This is not convenient.
The one thing I would say is, if you want everybody to help you with whatever the situation is, at some point you'll need to explain that situation to everybody.
That's fair.
But I definitely can keep an eye on whatever this is, and part of my just kind of goal in life is to acquire knowledge. I would like to learn more about this to help you and just for the sake of knowledge. So
Which brings us to our next point of discussion, the book. Our current employer has asked us that we don't look at it, but I brought you here under the pretenses to go ahead and look. I want to give you the option, being fully informed that they're asking us and pointedly not wanting us to look at it. My intention, my hope was that we would find enough other information that you would be appeased, sated.
So you lied to me.
No,
basically.
I didn't lie to you. One thing I don't want to do is lie to any of you. I said I'm giving you the choice, but I'm making sure that you understand that we were asked not to.
Appreciate that. Outside of character, can I get a refresher on who the employer is for this thing again?
It was basically
The good neighbors.
the leader of the Good Neighbors in Sandpoint. His name was Fenton.
State Farmers.
The State Farmers.
Yeah.
I believe
Really wish I
So-
would have picked a different name. I don't realize how these things can be twisted when I'm sitting there writing stuff
we
down.
will ruin anything you
This
do.
is factually correct.
I will say, since you weren't here for that one, we never actually met with him.
No,
He went
yeah.
into the kitchen, and so Grilda has been repeatedly saying, so you got this information from the kitchen.
Yes, he
Is the
The
leader
kitchen.
The kitchen
Tarnin
staff.
went and spoke to Fenton by himself.
is the leader Jake from State Farm?
No.
I forgot my tiny book, so I don't remember his name, but I did know his name.
Fenton. His name was Fenton.
Yeah, it's
And
pronounced
he-
Fenton.
Who are you
Spelled
talking
J.
to in the kitchen
Spelled
about
J.
heists?
It's a soft J.
It's Jake from State Farm.
It's Fenton
Yenton.
from Good Neighbors.
But yes, so it was Fenton.
From Good Neighbors.
Specifically, he
Excuse me.
asked, bring the book. You can have anything else you find, but I need the book back. I need it back now, and I need it back unspoiled. Were his words.
And we've heard all of this relayed.
From Tarnin.
More or less.
Tarnin said,
heavily edited
Tarnin
version.
said there's a book we need to get, we get everything else, and he doesn't want us to open it.
And in order to persuade Grelda to go along on this, he actually had to say that the people that we're getting this quest from are trying to make lives better for the people in Sandpoint, and so helping them should help the people of Sandpoint.
And you were there for that part.
And we're getting paid as well? Or-
The payment was whatever else you found in the vault, besides the book.
He secretly is also getting the answer to a question, I think, or something.
He did ask a question. The Good Neighbors used to be a spoke of the Iron Ring, which is basically a thieves guild that stretches throughout the continent. It was about 3 years ago. There was a new head of the Iron Ring, called himself the Ascended. Kind of changed the way he did things. He was specifically looking for certain artifacts, certain things, and
Certain
he
7-pointed stars.
not specifically.
No? I thought that was
The book has a 7-pointed star
Okay.
emblazoned on it,
Right.
but the Ascended was never mentioned with 7-pointed
Okay.
stars. Not specifically.
Alright.
And basically, he would, in order to find these specific artifacts or find their locations, he was willing to change the way the Iron Ring ran, instead of just being normal, like robbery and extortion. The Ascended was making members of the Iron Ring, and especially members of the Sandpoint spoke, do things like murder and torture and kidnapping and targeting children and things that they had not done before. So Fenton broke ties. He said, he mentioned there was a couple of skirmishes, but that died down quickly because he believed that the Iron Ring had more important things to worry about, so they left them alone. And once that was said, Tarnan gave a description of an individual and asked if they could find out if the Ascended matched this particular description. And Fenton said he sent his associate that was behind him to check. And he said, when you get back, I should have an answer for you one way or another, whether we can find out or not.
And how much of this knowledge about the Iron Ring and everything would the rest of us have?
Depends on how much Tarnan told you.
Yeah, 0. He told us nothing. Yeah, because no one asked him. To be fair.
Yeah.
True. He mentioned the job. Everybody asked him about the job. Nobody asked him the larger context of the organization you were getting involved with.
That was perfect. That was exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, you basically said, hey, I have a job. You were like, I'm bored. You were like, there's a book.
You're like, why am I going? Because it'll help people.
Oh, okay, well, because you mentioned that the Baroness Beatrix was torturing mages in her barony. Mm-hmm. So you were like, fuck her.
Yeah. But then I was like, but why are we stealing her book instead of like, doing something? And then Sanishi was basically like, look, we all know we're going to go murder some people. Let's be honest.
Is there going to be goblins? If there is goblins, can I kill everything?
Yeah.
And that was that was it.
If
we see a goblin,
that looks like a goblin, she's off leash.
And if I remember correctly, you did at one point say, "Is that goblin enough?"
Yes.
And it was like,
no. Does it? I mean, if I put the goblin hat on him, is he now a goblin? Can I kill him then?
So that's where we were all. That's where we were all at. The group had not known the majority of the conversation.
And also, in your defense, you were very drunk at the time.
Okay. That was a big bowl of bourbon.
That was a big bowl of bourbon.
I'm almost hurt you didn't bring the wooden bowl with you.
I was gonna say.
I almost did, but
almost. Well,
last session I found a clearance
once I finished this,
wooden
I figure
bowl
out
at Target.
Get permission to get those 3 little short glasses up there.
Yes.
Go ahead. Anything up there is free game. Cups, alcohol, anything in the fridge. I know I've got there's a whole bunch of more different kinds of alcohol in the fridge.
Because I figured after this beer, I'd crack open the big one, and anybody who wants some of that can.
I kind of wish I brought you guys a heckin' chonker.
I do. I wish.
I was looking forward to it. You
thought
promised
you were
it.
going
You
to.
promised it.
Okay, I did.
You promised it.
And then my mom drank it.
No, you promised it.
All right.
So
Why don't we go about 20 more minutes? 8:30. We'll take a break. Let me talk about beer and all this stuff.
She promised.
The music's perfect. She promised.
So, I mean, my main motivation. What's going on?
They're playing with the music.
Yeah.
Oh.
Comforting him in his time of heckin' chonker need.
So your main motivation was a specific book with the 7-pointed star emblazoned on it, and it was locked, and it was specifically asked, bring it back to me without opening it, and that intrigued you.
Now, having said that, I'm leaving it up to you, with the hope that you're willing to let it go. If you have a way of opening it, looking at it, and sealing it again, then I'm going to lean towards it. Yeah, look. Definitely look. Because I'm pretty sure what's in there may play in part with where I'm being led, where we're being led, if you choose to stay. So, take care of this book. I'm going to go a little farther ahead.
Before you do that, I'll take a look at the book, consider whether
It's locked.
I will consider whether I would be able.
Are you sure about that? I think it was open when we got it.
You can absolutely try to open it if you would like.
But I think you wanted to say
Yeah,
words
I think
first.
Lars is in the middle of
Let
saying
Lars words.
Words. Sorry.
So, if you're asking me to consider not opening it, we never really got a lot of reason for why we were doing this and the result of this. are the people that want this book, are they going to do good things with it, bad things with it? Do they just want to collect it?
What was my feeling about that? Refresh me from 2 months ago.
I believe the Russian mobster didn't tell you much.
No.
You did not do a perception check at the time, and I can tell you what the Russian mobster told you, and I can give you the answer to his questions that you asked. Do you need a power cable?
No.
Okay. Couple of things that were mentioned. He said that this job was one that originally they were going to be more planning for, but something happened recently that moved up the timetable to it had to be done now. He said he wanted the book. He reiterated more than a few times the book was the only thing he cared about. He wanted the book back. He wanted the book back unspoiled, and it was very important that it happened now.
Okay.
I will say the only thing you got from him was very much this needs to happen now.
Yep.
I'm frustrated that this needs to happen now,
That's fine.
but it needs to happen right now. That's really all you got from him.
Okay. Do you want me to unlock this for you? Oh, I'm sorry. Were you going to say something? What was the question again?
So basically, you're asking me to consider not opening it because our employer asked us not to. So what I'm asking is, what kind of person is this employer, and what are they likely to do with this book? Like, why should we be loyal to this person?
I don't have proof of my feeling, but I have a feeling they do indeed have the best interests of at least the people of Sandpoint at heart. I couldn't tell you how far it goes beyond the borders of Sandpoint, but I truly believe they are attempting to keep Sandpoint safe and prosperous. And that's a good start. But how do we know she didn't already look? She collects these things.
The person we stole it from?
Correct. I don't know that she didn't look. Do you? If you open the book, could you tell if she perused through there?
I don't know.
I don't either. So do you want it? Or should we leave it? I mean, the seventh pointed star has been in our past adventures a lot.
How much time would it take me to, really look over the book without opening it to get some sense of what it is, or...
A few minutes. I mean, it is a thick book, but if you just wanted to look at the outside of it, a few minutes.
Like dummy thick? I'm sorry.
Would you give him one of the books
Guys
off
are
the back
fucking
shelf
killing me.
just for a prop? I think that could be
I
fun.
would say...
Knife of Dreams.
I love how this is
The dark half. Oh.
That, but locked.
That locked.
And it's presumably magical in nature, right?
You
I
can
don't think
try and
anyone's
find
checked
out
yet.
if you would like.
I would like to try to find
Give me
out.
an Arcana check.
Hey, Sean,
Yes.
I detect magic at will. Is it book magic?
Oh, you have cast Detect Magic at will?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So you cast Detect Magic. Nothing pings from the book. There are a lot of other, that bad.
What?
There are, all of the magical items you have caught, or you have taken, pop up, but the book doesn't display anything.
One of those powers that I just can do, I can tell you right now, this book itself is not magical.
So we've had the feeling that it is. Is that because it has the 7-pointed star on it?
The reason you might feel it is?
And also because she was a sorceress, and it was locked.
It was, nobody said she was a sorceress.
Oh, no.
She was a baroness.
Ew.
The Baroness Yatrix, and she captured mages.
Okay.
But
I just had the wrong
it was
thing.
never brought up to anybody that she herself was a magic user. As for the book, again, this is the exact same 7-pointed star that was on the other book that was bitten on the necklace that you got off of Nualia. Like it is exactly the same inlaid in silver.
So
on
I
it,
actually
but
I have a wooden medallion on my person.
there, yeah,
If
you
it
have
compare.
you have a pair of small keys.
Yep.
You have a necklace. You have another book that has the 7-pointed star on it.
By the way, wherever we're heading, wherever I'm being led, the 7-pointed star seems to be a part of it.
It's just a really popular shape.
Could be. I mean,
Coincidence.
everyone likes to drive 7-pointed stars.
It was also engraved on the ancient statues in the areas that we were
Yep.
going in.
Yep.
Yeah.
There were some statues down in the depths of places, and there was
Yep.
a 7-pointed star there as well.
There was.
It was super old shit that like nobody remembered.
Yeah.
So, I guess back to you then. If you feel confident that these people are going to use this to protect the people of Sandpoint, would it be worth it to you to open it with the possibility that it might make it not usable for that anymore?
And that's where I need to rely on you understanding arcane better than my just pulling shit out of the air.
But without opening it, I mean, from what you said, this book isn't magical. It's just a book.
Valid point. I try to detect traps on it then.
Give me an investigation check.
Oh, now you fail me, you freaking jerk.
Is it weird to offer out of character responses at this point, or should we stay out since we're not actually listening?
What kind of response?
Like a suggestion.
I have been biting my tongue.
That would be
What was it?
that wouldn't
Okay.
that wouldn't fit.
Perception, you said?
Investigation. You're
Oh,
searching for traps.
investigation. That's even worse. 13.
Seems fine.
Of course it does. Nope, looks good to me.
Yes, that would be like when we take a break,
Mhm.
we can talk about it, and
Yep.
everybody would know that any suggestions made by people not in the conversation don't count.
Yeah, no, you're good.
But we'll wait till break.
I can't detect any springs or poisons or whatnot and other locks that I happened to encounter in my past.
Doohickeys and tomfoolery, I believe, are the technical terms.
Shenaniganeries.
Yeah.
I'd like to look at it and see if I can tell if there's any signs of like tampering with it, if they tried to open it.
Give me a perception check.
Oh, thank God you're doing that.
Perceptive.
Good job.
Why can't it be investigation?
Ooh.
Good job, Lieutenant. Good job. Promote that man.
Takes your job.
You're fired.
Yeah.
Back to Lieutenant with you.
What's wrong with Lieutenant?
18.
Nothing's wrong with
18. You look at this, like looking at the spine, and then looking at the hinge on the lock itself. You can tell that this book has been opened and closed more times than you can count, because you can tell that this book is extremely old. This is along the same age as the book you had gotten previously that was floating in the catacombs that Shinichi took a bite out of, or a bite into. Like, it is, this book is thousands upon thousands of years old. So you can tell that the spine is worn, like it has been opened and closed many, many times. Same with the lock. You are completely unable to tell the recency of any of this because of how old the book is.
And does the lock look like it was added more recently, or does it look like that lock is also ancient?
The lock, the design of it and everything like that makes you think that it is old. You can't tell whether it was original, but it's not new. Put it that way.
And did we ever get a sense of what that bite book was?
No.
No one could read it, right?
You opened it, nobody could read it. So she took a bite out of it. Or a bite into
I
it
think
again.
she tasted it.
Well, she took a bite to taste it. She didn't like take a chunk out
Okay,
of it,
alright,
but she
alright.
bit into it.
I was trying
But
to see
you
if
opened
it was
it,
like
nobody
real
could
gold.
read it, and then you just kind of left it at that. You have not been back to the book since then.
See, if I remember correctly, I was just checking to see if it was real gold
In real book.
And
I
it was
don't remember.
both.
Where
could
was
have been a
this book
goblin
at?
under
Like,
In the catacombs below the glassworks, there was the room where everything was floating and y'all were lassoing shit. It was floating in
yes. Okay. And why didn't we take it with us?
You did take
we
it with
did.
you. Yeah, we
Sinichi
got it.
has
You still have it.
Oh, we still have that book.
I don't
Uh-huh.
have it. It's not on me.
No?
Somebody has it. You are still in possession
If
of
you
the
don't have
bite
it,
book.
I have it, but I thought we left it with you.
You were the last. I know you were the last person to do something with it. I don't know if you're the last person to have it.
Great. You
But
know where it
you-
is? It's on the trail.
No, I know you took a bite out of it, and you're like, "Yep, it's old," and then that was like the last of it.
Yeah, I was like, well,
I
it's
was
gold,
collecting
and
all the
just-
junk from our like
I think
adventure, so
I think you ended up with it.
then
It's
that's
entirely possible. The
That's
book
totally
is still in your group's
Maybe.
possession.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
you were behind her when she went.
I might like I would not have allowed it to just poof if I had seen it, so let's assume I have it.
Yeah, like the only thing I had
Would that
listed
be
was
a
like,
leather tome, or would that be...
Leather tome sounds about right.
Because I have a note about a leather tome. I don't know if that means that I had it.
I don't know. Somebody has it.
That's fair.
Do you have anything about it, Jamie?
Me?
Just, like written down in your.
I don't have
Inventory?
my book with me.
Do you need a tablet?
No, because I didn't write it in there. I had it in my little.
Oh,
little
okay.
book thing. I seem to recall that Grelda was the one we left it with, or I mean, Sinishi was the one we left it with, because we weren't sure what it was, but I don't remember if it was like, if it explodes, at least it's in Sinishi's
Honestly,
hands,
the
or-
last person. I will say Shinichi has it because the last person who did anything with it was when Shinichi bit into it and said it. Yeah, that was the last. So I would say it is currently in Sinishi's
so
possession.
this is like the untranslatable.
Yes, it is a book that nobody can read.
Yeah, but put it in like Sinishi.
That
book that
is-
tastes old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can. I mean, it's
gold.
it's.
I didn't say.
Oh, gold, not old. Book that tastes gold.
No, she said it's not gold.
Yeah.
Because it is just a normal book, but it does have the same 7-pointed star emblazoned on the
One
front.
unreadable book, slight teeth prints.
Yes.
Not gold.
So I give this book for the moment back to Tarnan, and I tell him, this seems very, very similar to the book that we found in the catacombs earlier. So that one is not locked. So maybe we can investigate that a little further to get some idea of more about what this book would be.
I'm gonna trust your judgment call on this one. If you want to try to open it, I will unlock it for you.
I call back to Sinishi. Hey Sinishi, do you still have that book that you took a bite out of?
Yep.
Would you mind if I took a
Apparently.
look at it?
Taking a bite out of
Sure.
Illiteracy?
I mean, mind if we
A
like
bite into illiteracy?
speed up and start actually traveling?
We've been traveling this whole time.
Yep, this whole time.
Barely.
Remember, you may not remember, you were promised a goblin hunting trip at the end of this.
Yes,
Why?
I was.
Why do you continue to bring up these things?
Because it would make her maybe a little bit less unhappy with the current
Don't you
True,
situation.
remember
yeah.
you wanted to open the book and you wanted to go on a goblin trip and everybody was promised something. Don't forget.
Oh no!
Look,
I
I
knew
have
I was
one job
promised.
here.
It's remembering shit.
It's remembering shit.
Alright, so
Help
she
me, Internet.
hands you.
You're my
the
only
book.
I'm
hope.
gonna hand you the book.
So I'd like to investigate or
You're
percept or whatever.
What are you
this
trying
book
to
as well?
What are you trying to find out? Like, what are you
Um,
looking for?
How is it similar to the other book? Other than the was there there was a 7-pointed star on this one as well, right? Like how it seems similar in age and
Bill's bringing it up. Will you give it to
materials
Sinichi and see if
Okay,
it tastes the
you don't
same?
need, honestly, if that's what you're looking for, you don't need to give me a perception check. Just holding the two of them together, they're the same book material. The pages look of the same material. The silver inlaid Sahedron on the front is carbon copy. Basically, the only difference between the books that you can discern is one has a lock, and the other has a bite mark.
Okay, well I'll cast comprehend languages then and see if I can read.
Is that a 10-minute spell, or is that a
Hour.
I'm sorry. Is that a?
It's a spell slot.
It's a spell, not a.
Cantrip.
Oh, actually,
no, the ones that take 10 minutes to cast.
You,
oh, actually, it does
ritual.
have an hour.
Ritual.
on it.
Thank you.
So I probably could cast it as a ritual, but that seems like
No, that's fine.
a pain.
Great. Now we're
Okay.
stopping, now we're stopping for lunch, and I get to deal with Sinichi for that too.
Ooh, second
Thanks.
breakfast.
No, I mean he can do it. He can do it while he's walking, or while he's
Oh,
riding.
on
I
horses.
should say.
I'll use the slot.
Okay. Then immediately, so the spell is cast.
I mean, let's be honest. He's a gnome. The horse is a pretty big, stable platform for him.
It is.
So I I open the book. I think it says I have to be like touching the surface or
Yeah.
something.
Well, if
touching
you're
the
holding the
books?
book and you cast it, you would be able to read what's inside of it. How long do you want to spend reading it?
We have hours of walking left, right?
I would say during this conversation, you would know at your current speed, if nothing happens,
Well,
you
we've been
would
doing
still
this
be.
while we've been going, right?
I know, but I'm saying like conversation, current speed with the roll you did. You would know that you would probably get to Sandpoint at about midnight at current pace. So you are a good 6 or 7 hours out.
Okay. Well,
All right.
where's that silence?
How long does it last?
An hour.
An hour?
So
Okay.
you read for an hour.
So I'd like to use that.
You want to use it for an hour? All right.
see if
Give me a.
Speed reading check.
Phonics.
I'll
Give
do
me
the
an
options.
intelligence check.
Oh,
Dun, dun, dun.
Is that a skill?
how smart are
Or
you?
how does that work?
Just roll the dice.
You have an intelligence. Yeah, it's one of your like 6 main skills: intelligence, wisdom,
You look like this.
strength. One of the main ones.
So ability saves. Yeah, there you go.
Not a saving throw though. A skill check.
Oh.
Which yours? I mean, I would assume yours would be.
Higher.
It's a +8
Mine's -1.
to intelligence.
Yes.
Nice. As a wizard, yours is fairly high. You have a +8 to it.
So 11.
And you
I
also.
rolled very low.
Oh, that's against magic. 11.
He's feeling a little seasick from being on the horse.
It is a very large animal that you were trying to read this book on.
I want that.
Okay, so you
I'll
you
something.
your
No.
you're in, you know that the spell only lasts an hour, and this is a very large book, so you're doing your best to move through the book to get as much information as you can before the spell fades. As you open it, what you can tell is this isn't so much a book as it is a journal.
It's booking.
I'm trying to do something here.
Got him.
Cut him. So it isn't so much a book as it is a journal. At the beginning of each of the passages, there is, even with your spell, there is an odd combination of numbers and letters. It's not a date that you recognize. Like, it's not set up in a fashion that you can be like, oh, this is the 31st of August. It's a odd combination of numbers and letters at the beginning of each section of passages, and then there'll be a couple of paragraphs, and there'll be another one. As you're flipping through it, the book talks about you see mentions of the golden city of Zinjalast. You see mention of His Majesty Kurzog and serving him and wanting to be as close to him in power as possible. You read mention of artifacts that can bring, once brought together with a certain ritual that at the current time the writer did not know, could give the writer something akin to godhood. You are flipping through and you see the mention that there are 6 of these artifacts. Only 3 are necessary to have in hand to do the ritual. The writer talks about how like as you're flipping through, the pure desire and lust for these artifacts and the amount that they're talked about grows from like, I need to find out where these are, to I will do anything to find to have the ones necessary. And as it ends, as the spell ends and you get towards the back of the book, it talks about how the 7 Runelords are acting strange and they seem to be retreating, which makes me nervous. And that's really the last thing you get from the last entries.
Do I know what a Runelord is?
No.
Can I do a check to know what a Rune Lord is?
No.
Okay, sounds pretty cool.
I feel
And
like-
in an hour, that's
I feel like they
about.
might rise sometime soon.
It's like the Lord of the Runes.
I don't know why you
One
would
rune was
get
given
the. I don't know
to
why you'd get the
Jason
opinion that any Ruin Lord would possibly rise.
Yeah.
I
They're
don't, know
like
where, I don't know where you're getting that from.
And if I remember correctly, Kurzog and this Golden City thing were also what we saw in the hologram thing.
Kurzog was the individual speaking in the hologram. Zin Zelast was mentioned in a drawing on the wall, I believe it was, as a city of gold.
Yeah, you had some
It was
crazy
his seat
good
of
rolls
power.
in there.
It
Yeah,
was
amazing.
also his seat of power. You're correct.
So, am I still walking next to Tarnan?
You are riding in the general vicinity of Tarnan, yeah.
I mean, if he looks
I mean,
like he's starting
me
to wander
too.
off course, I will grab the horse's reins and let him continue to read.
So,
That's what a leader does. Now I'm leading.
looking at this book, this appears to be a journal from somebody that served Kurzog. And they were after some pretty amazing powers, like godlike powers, from some ritual that they could perform with artifacts. So, if this other book is also related to that, which it definitely seems like it would be because they look like the same, they came from the same time period, maybe they're made by the same person. How much do you trust this person that we're giving this to if they're going to end up with potentially these powers?
I'm not in the business of making any other gods or godlike creatures, if that's what you're asking. Unless, of course, it's one of us. That I might be okay with.
Sasha.
Sasha would be.
Sasha
wonderful
becomes a
god.
god. That's interesting.
Have you considered voting for X?
What's Axe's standpoint on anything?
Murder.
Slash
Okay.
it.
Murder.
Slash it.
Not a fan of goblins.
How about taxes? Slash. Okay, I'm good. Um,
Think we should cut trade?
Would I have any feeling after reading about the artifacts if any of the... Don't we have a couple of like necklaces that are the
You have a
Seven
necklace
Star?
and a couple of keys.
She has like a fake necklace.
Yeah.
Didn't we have like a real necklace that we got off of Nualia? as well?
Nualia had a Sahedron necklace.
And then there was something
There
with
was
keys.
2 keys.
Keys.
I hate doing this, but they were. This is how they were described. They were keys, and this is the second time we've done this. I hate doing it, but the door and the way that they were like this. I'm sorry.
what does...
So the keys
The
weren't.
keys, no, they were
Wait, were the
small.
keys like
They were
this?
big keys.
Okay.
They were big keys.
And how were they positioned?
Okay,
They were like
so we're
this?
we're gonna take 5.
Probably
That was about the
time.
time.
Yeah.
Take 5. I need to go to the bathroom and
Are you sick of our
I need
shit?
to. Yeah. All right, so
Maybe at the
I
end
guess
of the
we'll
night.
get back into it. Lars, you had just
Died?
read the book.
Make
Oh
me
yeah,
want to make
and I had
those
asked Tarnan how sure he is of this employer's intentions.
Okay, so if you're talking about godhood online, maybe I do want you to read it.
Girl is so glad she's not here for this.
I mean, are you talking like the books are the artifacts?
I don't think the books are the artifacts, but I
Okay.
think the books talk about
How to find them?
how to find them or use them.
So this is another one of those situations where we got like a demon locked in a cave that we should probably kill, but we're not ready to kill, and we should like hide the keys.
This may be very related to that demon in the cave. Actually. Because that hologram thing that we saw right by the demon locked in the cave
I remember.
the
was
cave
talking
buddy.
about the same
'Cause I'm with you.
sort of thing.
Worth noting.
She came up
What?
to hand him the book, and she
And I
said
haven't
that she
left.
went away.
I'm just kind of hanging. I don't want to look
Tanishi
back.
handed you the book,
Oh,
and nobody has said that they're waiting for her to depart. So currently, she is within.
I'm
earshot
totally
of
with
this
you guys.
conversation.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just so you know.
I want my unreadable book back. It's got my teeth.
God.
Please don't.
For the love of... So help me, you will be the one chasing after her, and I know your survivor skills suck.
And mine are pretty good, so I can keep going for a while.
We're still talking about survival, right?
Oh no. Oh, there she goes. Oh shoot.
Whoa, there she goes.
Watch out, gnome. She'll chew you up.
Watch out, look, she'll chew you up.
Are you
Hey,
kidding me? If I
hey, Sean,
give him
how do
away
I-
from
Joe.
the tomato, that's very
I'm
well
gonna
might
I'm pick the fucking
chew
lock on
that
book.
little
All right.
out.
Give me a.
He's been
Can you help?
It is a.
Is that something I can get assistance with or not?
No.
Okay.
Dexterity check
I'm pretty
plus
good at picking
your
locks.
ability
Yep.
I like how we
modifier.
tried to make it your decision the whole time, and you're like,
I got a
"Yeah, we'll
13.
make that decision."
13.
Yeah.
Your lockpick is D20 plus 10.
I know. I got a 13.
Oh,
Oh,
alright. It is even with. It takes you a little bit longer than you're used to, but it's not a super complicated lock, and it does pop open fairly easily.
I think I need to go talk to somebody. Maybe for like an hour.
I'll hold on to this for a second.
I
Sure.
appreciate that.
Can I have my book back?
Do you really want your book back?
Yes.
I'd give her her bitten book back.
That no one can read. Thank you.
Would you do me a favor?
What's up?
Lead his horse so he can continue to read, and we're gonna head back towards the road. Not at a gallop, but we're gonna head back towards the road.
Oh, it's still gonna be faster.
Yes,
Okay.
it will. But lead his horse so he can continue to read.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Easy.
When I open it, I cast Mage Hand just so I can open it, like, not in front of me in case there's like a trap or something.
Okay. How far away from you would you like this book to be?
I don't remember how far Mage Hand.
Far enough,
30.
I believe, is the
are
correct
the books our
answer.
new bridge?
30.
No, I'm just. If you are going to have a book floating 15 feet in front of you and open, people are going to see it. Like the rest of your party is going to see this this random book floating in front of you and opening. I'm not saying what they're going to say about it, but it's not going to be discreet.
She won't see it. I won't see it.
Girl is definitely not gonna know.
Well,
this.
It's if you are all I mean might not be right up on each other, but if you're all relatively following the same line, you're looking
But
forward to
she's
follow the
leading his
person.
horse, and I'm ahead of that.
If there's a floating book 15 feet in the air, it's going to be hard to miss.
But it's behind me.
Not behind them.
Oh, no, it's behind her and
Everybody
me.
else.
She's leading his
Okay, but I'm
horse.
like
Okay, these
people will see a book floating 15 feet in the air.
Yeah, they all know he cast it.
I'd be a little more concerned about like book getting out of
I'm not saying I don't know what they're going to do about it. They might not do anything. I'm just saying if you're going to have it float 15 feet in the air, it's going to be seen.
You're getting tired of you ducking me, man.
like totally out of character. Maybe to keep that shit behind.
I mean,
the
we're
shield.
roughly in a line though, right?
You relatively straight.
So if I did it like kind of in front of the horse,
Leading horse.
you know, 10, 15 feet ahead, they
Fast.
may not see it because the horse is in the way,
It's a
and
possibility.
there's trees in the way,
It's a
and
possibility.
all right. Well, I'm gonna try it because I don't trust opening
Okay.
this thing.
It opens.
Yeah, I mean, I checked it, and it's not magical. It'd be pretty safe.
Yeah, but your trap roll wasn't.
You're both passive perceptions.
5.
Mine's pretty high, but I think Grilda got bored quite a while ago and has been scribbling notes about ciders for quite a while.
Icky at the back is, like keeping an eye out for things at the back. My passive perception is 12.
13.
13.
Lucky 13.
Oh,
What is
yeah.
Passive perception. Oh.
Okay. I mean, you both.
Gotcha.
You don't necessarily see the book, but you
Yeah.
see guys doing stuff. Put it that way.
And
There
I
he
know-
is doing stuff again.
Doing stuff. You're doing magic stuff.
In the
Fucking
woobly
no.
woobly.
The magic hands.
I will say, I'm not sure that Grella is aware that we told, or pseudo promised the dude we wouldn't look at the book. So even if she noticed it, she might not even think it's a thing.
Okay. So it is open and floating.
Although that could come back
Okay.
to bite you later.
I bring it
sir.
back to me.
Okay.
And I cast comprehend languages again.
Alright, marked off another spell
I have
slot.
moved up at some point.
Alright, so give me another
Not intentionally, but it's good.
intelligence check.
What?
Intelligence check.
Everybody?
Just him. He's reading the book.
Whoa, I win.
Why would you waste it?
Why didn't you taste it?
She didn't offer.
28?
28?
I
What
rolled
did
a-
I do?
yeah, he
I
rolled
was
a
rolled a
Klingon
20.
symbol.
rolled a Klingon symbol. Oh, you got a 20?
Shattered solo albums.
28?
Entitled
Alright,
You're
you
Gonna
spend an hour perusing through the book, and you immediately notice that the date markers, it is the same kind of journal setup, and the random odd number letter combinations in front of each of the entries is the same kind of setup that you saw in the other book. The handwriting and the manner of speaking of the writer is the same. This one seems to be much more focused, though. It specifically talks about the artifacts and the rituals, and it mentions Kurzog, Lord Kurzog again. Runelord Kurzog is how it refers to him. It mentions that thanks to his wells of wrath, they have been it says, thanks to his Kurzog's wells of wrath, I have been able to acquire 2 of the artifacts. It says that the other 4 are still unknown to me, but the bowl and the pyramid are in my possession.
Should have brought that wind ball.
It also it begins to talk about the ritual. It mentions that Runelord Kurzog has told me bits and pieces about how the ritual is performed, promising me ascension below him as his right hand. But he will not tell me what these what the ritual entails until I have more of the artifacts. So he talks about needing to find them, doing whatever it takes. There is passing mention of families and towns destroyed in order to get a single piece of information on where some of these might be. And there's a lot of frustration as you get to the last half of the book that there are groups or specific entities trying to hide some of these artifacts from this individual, knowing what his plans are. He mentions saying the other Runelords are jealous of what I could become. And it ends along the same lines as the other journal, mentioning that these jealous Runelords, that he hasn't heard from them or seen their fingerprints on the inner workings of the land for some time, and that worries him.
But there's no conclusion. There's no, here's how you do the ritual. There's no, it's
No, it goes into some detail about what these artifacts are, and it talks about parts of the ritual, but it does not seem that this book by itself has the entire ritual in it.
Do I get the feeling that, like, the descriptions of the artifacts, are they, like, I don't know, sufficiently detailed to be, like, really valuable information, or are they just kind of in general discussing the artifacts?
Yes. There's not... You get the feeling that this is a piece of a puzzle about these artifacts, that the information held in here is valuable, but only in the context of other information. This by itself has a limited value, but if you put this together with other information, it could paint a complete picture.
Okay.
Can I ask a question, just
Yeah.
because I've forgotten? So you mentioned the Wells of Wrath. I think it was Icky who had something in his past where he saw that, but I can't remember if Geisen did.
I don't know how well you remember your backstory. Do you remember your backstory?
Probably not very well.
There was not a specific well.
I don't
in
remember
yours
that.
in
Okay,
particular.
okay.
I mean, I remember having a vision with that well, but we found that thing, the liquid
Yes.
thing.
Your backstory, what led to your thing, was not a well in particular.
Okay.
Okay.
We did steal magic anger water, and when we took it to Slugman, I'm sorry, I have strange ways to store memories.
Magic anger water to Slugman. I dig it. I dig it.
He was like, "This is just regular water." We're like, "No, I assure you, this is magic anger water." And he was like, "Yeah, no." And I'm also not buying that rotting head, and I was very sad.
Yes, both of those did happen.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Kind of like her version better.
I took the magic anger water to the Slugman, and he's like, "No, this isn't magic anger water, and I'm not buying that head."
It's a pill bug. It's not a slug man. What?
So, where did Tarnan left me for this? Where did he go?
Not far. Just ahead for about an hour. And about an hour later, I'll slow down and wait for him to catch up. Them to catch up.
So you're back around.
Yes.
Are you going to relay any of this to...
You've got two hours of book reading worth of information to potentially relay or not.
Or not.
Or not.
Well, I relayed some of the first hour to Tarnan.
And me.
And her.
And her.
And
Well, you related to Tarnan. She happened to be there while you were relaying it to Tarnan.
I just
was
imagine her like
quiet.
popping in the side. I'm still here.
No, I can imagine you telling Tarnan, like in a deep conversation, her just peeking your head out. No shit?
That's basically what was happening.
That's
is that related to goblins?
That's the stupidest thing ever. There are no goblins in that story.
So why
Anywhere.
does it matter?
Alright, so yes, are you relaying any of this information to anybody?
So there's nothing conclusive.
When I turn this in, if I don't have any knowledge of it, since I don't know that it was read, I can honestly say that I have no knowledge of it.
That's fair.
Maybe at some future point.
Can you relock it?
I can
You can certainly try.
Yes, I do. I have a 29.
29? You relock it far easier than you unlocked it.
Well, now that I've done it once, it's easier.
So I give the book back to him.
I managed
Without-
to make it look like it was never opened.
That was not actually stated.
No.
Without giving you any specific knowledge of the book,
Do you feel comfortable turning this book in?
it's complicated.
Geisen has not been comfortable the entire time we've known him.
Who said that?
Why are you all following us? Oh, wait. You're supposed to be following us. My bad.
I'm just imagining Grelda, like, just drunk off her ass on the horse, just, like, shouting things.
Oi! I'm not almost there yet! Yes, Grelda.
Has Growth been sharing with Icky because of that? That's the case he's trying
I'm
to
not
make
the
the
only
horse
Grelda
one.
shares
fly.
with anyone who wants some.
Alright.
You're trying to make the horse fly?
Yeah, there's only million
You know, hold on to the horse really tight and flap your wing. I can do it! I can do it!
These are really well trained.
This is what happens when you go super slow through the woods with this particular group.
Hey, I haven't knocked
So-
over a giant statue and alerted an entire group of enemies that were nearby yet, so I'd say we're doing good.
In like
Some
3
people
days.
are very mad about that fact right now.
Yeah.
I'm very drunk about that.
Way
fact
to
right
not
now.
drop the ball.
Yeah. Someone was counting on you to drop that ball.
It's true.
I'm sorry. Carry on. Where were we?
So the other, the bite book,
Drinking more.
Yes.
did it have pieces of that same puzzle? Like, would you need the information from that book?
It also talked about the artifacts. I would say that reading them both, you would have a better idea of what the artifacts were themselves. The first book didn't go into many details about the ritual, but they both went into different details about the artifacts.
Okay. So, as far as being comfortable, I'm not sure. So basically, this book by itself, they're not going to be able to do anything with just this book. But if they have others, they've already acquired knowledge, this could be a key that they're missing. But the other book that Sneeshi has started to eat also has some pieces of
So
the
don't turn
overall
that part
picture.
in.
So if we don't give them that, then that maybe that's enough. I don't know.
And when I turn this one in, I definitely ask how many they have in their collection now, and maybe we have a better understanding on them.
That's good, yeah. Yeah, if we can try to understand what they know or their intentions,
Okay.
that would definitely be helpful.
Fair. One other, Sanishi, would you go tell the others to catch up? We're going to start moving a little fast.
Hey!
No, go tell them. I don't want to make a lot of noise. Just go let them know we're about this.
Most in-character
Go.
role-playing of the night.
Let them... Thank you.
Can I turn around? I still got his reins.
No,
His horse is gonna come with
let go.
me.
Let go of his reins. He's done reading. He's done reading.
Alright.
Thank you,
Makes the
Sanishi.
Drop
panic
his
baby Yoda noise.
Last
Hey guys,
point of business.
come up. I guess we're like having some group meeting or something. I don't know. Up here.
Are you near enough to hear that, or are you like?
I mean,
circling
I'm
like
not
a
that.
buzzard?
No,
No, he has not been able. He has not been able to lift
She
the
gets
horse.
scrolled there, he's just like, ka-claw?
I mean, I did have that loud hey, so I'm. That kind of did echo.
Last point of discussion. You mentioned you have a ring that you can actually add spells and abilities into.
I do, yes. I think I still
Is
have
that
I can
something-
take the book.
I see a piece of paper with the word ring on it. So
Is that something that you are actually using, or
That's nothing to do with it. Yes, I have that.
would you be willing to let me have that?
I would.
Oh, it looks like brass knuckles too. That's nice.
It does look kind of like brass knuckles.
You have a lot of those
Interesting.
sheets of paper.
Everything that's magic we find.
I'm
like,
hoping to use it to help the party because I can dump some of those weird healing abilities into it for the occasions when grease goes awry.
Oh wow.
That would never happen. too
Grease
soon.
is the most perfect spell, and nothing bad ever happens.
Grease is the word.
Oh god. I can't
Grease,
stay
grease,
here.
grease, grease, grease. No, I'm sorry.
So do you want to just fill it with your own spells, or do you want me to put anything in it?
I'll put mine in it.
Good.
Unless you feel you need to put something in it. And then once it's full, perhaps I'll hand it back to you. I don't know. We'll see. Let me think about that, because if I anything
Remember, does it say you take an action to use
anything
the
I,
spells?
anything I put in here, you would be able to use. Is that correct?
I believe
Yep.
so.
How about somebody prone to death? The one who's died.
It doesn't actually
already.
take us that long to catch
Right.
up to you, by the
No,
way.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we're still talking about it. About now, you guys can join us. But we'll talk about this later.
What are you talking about? I'm sorry.
Well, it's
Fuck
really-
Lloyd! What are you talking about?
There you go.
We're gonna get moving a little faster. I mean, Unless anyone objects.
No.
No, okay, let's go.
That's good. We need to get these horses back to my friend.
Yeah, how much do we owe for that now? Oh, we already took care of that? That's
Alright.
fantastic.
Oh, and then we can go on our goblin hunting trip.
I thought we'd do that in the morning, not tonight.
Whatever.
Oh, okay.
Next thing we're doing.
Right.
Yeah, the goblin hunting trip.
No
None
one
of you
asked
have to
me.
go
Otherwise known as Sinishi's Big Day.
Yes.
Yes.
maybe Sinishi's Big Day Out. I like Sinishi's Big Day Out.
Okay.
Sinishi's no good, terrible, bad.
Terrible.
That's been this whole adventure.
Yeah.
I promised her that I would go, and I'm going.
Sinishi's
I'm
like
taking her.
sneaking. Are you fucking kidding me?
If the three of you don't want to go, you don't have to. But you are absolutely welcome to come with.
It's always good to kill goblins.
And your friend would probably appreciate a few more ears.
This is totally like your moral code, your moral compass. Goblin, murder, yes, no. Right now, Geralda would definitely be on board, but if she hears back from her guild after having sent the bottle of wine, there's a chance that she would not go. So basically, she's on board unless something comes up.
Everyone just wants to ditch whenever they... I mean, whatever. Here we go.
It's like they have lives or
uh-oh.
something outside of murdering.
Mm-mm.
It's fucking weird.
Mm-mm.
I don't
No,
get it.
nobody has...
Keep Icky well lubricated, and he'll go.
Alright, what are we talking about now?
I believe he was talking about alcohol. I mean, where you might have been going with that... I'm not that familiar with bird anatomy.
I don't know if birds do that or what they do, but they drink. I know that.
This one
They
drinks really
drink
well.
like fish.
We travel quickly and, and jovially.
Dear God, let us get to Sandpoint.
Jovially.
All right, if
Jovial.
you were not to stop, like I said, you'd probably get to Sandpoint about midnight.
What now? Even after we started speeding up?
10.
Okay.
It's not gonna.
sounds good.
It's gonna save you a little bit of time, but it will be dark. A couple hours before
10.
you.
10
get to
sounds
Sandpoint.
good. I can do that. 10 sounds good. Let's do 10.
We could do 10:30.
I mean,
All right, so you're
have
approaching.
you really given up on lifting the horse yet?
Once you get close enough, you're gonna veer back onto the road and approach the town.
Yep.
That's what I'm understanding.
Yes.
All right. So as you approach the town, you see that the gate is open, and there are 2 guards stationed out front.
10
As
p.m. Why is the gate open? Who trained these fuckers?
It wasn't us, was it?
Some of them. We
as you walk up, there are 2 guards at the gate. One of them begins
Sean!
to step forward to you, kind of looks at you. You don't recognize this particular Crown's guard. You haven't seen this gentleman before. If you if you would tell me your business, and then he's in the middle of talking, and you see the other guard look at him and look at you, and then really quick get a really like oh shit look on his face, run over and like tap him on the shoulder and whisper to him, and then he looks at you and he waves you in, and you continue, and as you go, you see that he is the one who was with Steven the last time you had entered, and he just gives you a look, his eyes are wide. He kind of nods to everybody, and then he looks specifically at Sanishi and was like...
Turner fishes out a silver and flips a coin to the guy.
He
Good job, boys. Keep it up.
catches it, and he's whispering in his ear, and he points to Sanishi, and you see the other guy, the one you hadn't met before, just kind of look at her, look back at him.
I give
And then-
him a big grin and kind of
While
like
walking
salute
by,
with one
I
of my
asked,
hand axes.
Does this gate need to be open at this time of night?
Well, now that the Goblin Menace is done and all the defenses have been set up and the patrols, we kind of back to business as usual in Sandpoint. The gates are usually open in the evening.
Isn't there still a potential goblin menace?
There's always a potential goblin menace.
Heard something about people
Sanishi.
burn things down. I don't know. We're just doing what we're told.
Who told you?
The Sergeant at Arms, Sergeant
Carrie.
Dunhall, he told us leave the gates open. Everything's
Good to go.
more back to normal now.
All right. Don't spend that silver all in one place, and not until after you're off duty.
Right.
Off we go. Off I go. I don't know about the rest of these guys. You need to close the gate. Leave the gate open. Close the gate. Leave the gate open. Close the gate.
Icky would like the gate to be closed so he can fly over. and then have it opened so he can go
get
back
his
out.
horse.
Yeah.
Icky flies over, comes.
You're not going to
opens the
use
gate.
your
Massive.
giant bird to carry the horse over for like 5 seconds, and then
Worth it. Don't do it. I mean.
he knows how to make an entrance.
Alright, so you are back in town.
Yep.
So would your associates that sent us on this little adventure be up and looking for company this late, or should we go and...
What kind of company are you offering? I mean, I know we were out in the woods for a day, but
Look.
I mean, what
Oh!
do birds? I don't know what they.
Of
Or do you
Of
want to
course.
do you want to like go and
No,
just
I'm
like
just-
grab maybe grab a beverage,
He did want
relax.
lubrication.
you do like that beer. We should at least stop by and look.
Mhm.
And about now is a good time to have a beer, right?
Grelda
I think
would
that's
like to
great time to
take all the horses back to the Goblin Squash stables while y'all do that.
Oh, we're gonna do that first.
She can. You guys don't have to come with.
Goblin squash stables. What is that?
That's the stables where we got the horses from, and that's
Yep.
where we turn in
That's
all
what
the
they're
ears.
called?
'Cause
Yep, it's called the Goblin
goblins.
Squash Tables.
If no one objects.
I'll go with you.
Oh, nice.
Help you keep all these horses together.
Fuck boy, much appreciated.
Fair
Alright,
enough.
so just the two of you? You're going to the stables?
Yep, the rest of us will stop at the White Stags.
White Deer Inn.
White Deer. White Deer Inn, and hand off the horses for them to take it back.
Alright.
If there's any extra additional charge or whatever, let me know. I'll cover it.
Fuck boy.
Alright, then fuck off. In that case, which group would like to go first?
I say let them RP first.
What? Again? We just got them.
If you'd rather not, we can do the stables
No,
first.
whatever you want.
I don't care.
Okay, go ahead.
We will do both, so whoever wants
Yeah.
to go first.
Go ahead.
Okay, so to the stables it is.
The stable? Alright. You make your way to the stables. The lanterns outside of the stable are lit. The doors are wide open as you approach.
I make plenty of noise and shout out a hearty "fuck boy" as we approach. I hope no one's sleeping nearby, because they're not anymore.
Well, this is right next to the Rusty Dragon, so there is plenty of noise coming from the Rusty Dragon right next door. Right next door. Fuck off. It's already,
right next door.
it's infecting me.
Fuck off.
And from
right next door.
inside, immediately inside to the left, you see just a pair of feet. Yeah. Another fucking fuckboy anywhere. About time you fuckers got back with my fucking horses. I was wondering if you'd make it back at all. And then he stands up, turns so that you can see him, and he's holding a tankard. He kind of leans up against the door. Holy shit! You brought them all back? I expected at least one of them to be fucking dead.
Your fucking lack of faith, it hurts me to my core.
Yeah,
It
speak from
was-
experience, lass.
It was the most boring trip ever. Nothing happened the
Nothing.
whole
You
time.
guys, you fuckers
This is
were
the
going
best
for...
cover you could possibly
You
have.
fuckers were going for 3 days. What did you do? Nothing for 3 fucking days.
We went to the place, we got in, we got out, we came back. It was so
dropped the dice
dull.
somewhere. I
Like,
don't know where.
the horses just... We hitched them up, they stayed where they were.
I guess I feel a bit bad for you, but for my fucking horses, I'm glad it was born.
I mean, yeah, no, for the horses it was great. Like, I
there
hate
it
to
is.
see a horse hurt.
Well, it's good you guys came back when you did.
Right there.
I've got a little bit of time before I've got things to do. So you just dropping them back off?
Yeah. Boy.
No, well you already fucking paid for it. So if you're just dropping them back off, 1, 2, 3. But yeah, you guys are fucking good.
Give your bone tug away.
So just bring them inside and put them in their pens, and then I'm gonna close up and I got shit to do.
Alright.
Fuck boy.
Fuck boy, indeed.
Let's continue this uneventful little quest of ours.
You can.
And you notice that he seems to be in a bit of a hurry. He's also in a very good mood. He's like, all right, let's get going. All right, and he holds up his tankard. It's to a good night. You go get yourself fucked up.
Fuck away.
Fuck away.
I really want to like do a perception check, but Grelda would not notice that anything is really awry and try and figure out what's going on. So in character, I cannot, in a good
Well,
conscience.
what's her
The passive perception?
Oh, her
is
passive
12.
perception's great, but like, I don't like.
she doesn't care at all.
He's cheerful. He's in. If he seemed upset or like someone was hassling him, I would definitely check.
Oh, yeah.
But the fact that he's in a good mood doesn't
Okay.
seem mega stressed out. She's just not gonna. She's gonna let him have privacy.
Is he like making moves at least to properly, care for the horses? Or
Yeah, he's getting them back in his
Oh, he's
back in
gonna
their
care for those
stables.
horses, all right.
Takes the bridles off. Like he gets them set up for the evening. He's just he seems to be kind of shooing you guys
Set
up.
up for the evening.
Kinda.
He's
Okay.
he looks like he's
Very
got somewhere
happy
to
to see
be.
those horses.
And you arrived right about the time he was planning on leaving, so he's
Okay.
trying to wrap everything up so he can go.
All right.
So Sinichi also wouldn't. We really were the worst two people to send to someone being suspicious but also cheerful.
I mean, I might kinda, cause like, he's always been really laid back before. Like I've been there.
This
with
is the
you.
first time that he's rushed you, I will say.
Yeah,
that.
like I've been there with you before, and he's always been like really laid back. He answered my.
If you
questions
feel
about
that
goblin ears.
Sinishi would be trying to sense a motive, like this is odd. I wonder why he's doing this. You can give me if you feel that in character she would be curious. You can give me a perception check.
Oh well, so I'm not that curious. I just
Okay.
wanted to say something when they left.
Huh? Odd.
Yeah, well,
Pretty
yeah,
much.
Yeah.
just like leave and just.
Well, that was weird.
There's something weird about that.
what
I
if-
don't think it's a goblin.
What if the only thing that could make somebody that happy could be finding a trove of goblins to kill?
Dead goblins.
I found 100 goblins
It
putting
would
up in a fucking pen over like a
It
little
would be
ditch over there. I'm
perfect.
gonna go kill them all.
It would be perfect for her to come to that conclusion an hour from now.
Yeah. She
Whatever,
she
blah, blah,
wake up in the middle of the night. He was gonna go kill goblins.
That fucker had goblins.
Darn it!
What happened? What?
He might
He
have
had
goblins.
goblins.
All right, so
Oh,
if,
bad.
if you guys aren't gonna,
No, it's like we're.
Alright, so
yeah,
then
we're gonna
you would
leave
just-
and just it's.
are you just gonna walk back over
No, well,
to
like,
the White Deer, or what would you do after you
no.
left the
We're gonna
goblin squash
leave,
tables?
and I'm just gonna kind of turn to Grella like that seemed. He seemed.
Where are you guys going after? Let me put it
After
that way.
with nothing else to distract us, I would probably go back to the room to sleep.
Yeah.
Back to the Rusty
I had
Dragon?
A busy day of drinking.
All right, then you go out and you turn right to go to the Rusty Dragon, which is right next door, and you see him he waves and he turns left. Just you guys are going the opposite direction.
We're missing a huge story plot.
Look, I know, but in character,
I
I,
got it.
can't.
In
know, I'm
character,
just messing
Grelda
with
would
you.
be like, "You're happy, I don't care."
I wanted to eat at
Probably
you
just
for the
getting
rest of
late
the
or
night.
something.
I'm bored as fuck.
All right, so
Wait,
would you
he-
go in and go to bed?
But before that, just after we left, even though we saw him go the other way, you did have a conversational point you were going to bring
Yeah,
up.
I was just. Did he seem rushed to you? Seemed kind of weird.
Yeah, but people get rushed all the time. Do you think there was something weird about it? I'm trying so hard, okay?
I mean, I don't know. He's always been chatty before. And, like, questioning us more. He just, like, took my story and.
It was a good story.
I mean, we did go to the place, go in, get out, come back. But he tends to like more detail.
Do you feel weird about it?
It's a little strange.
That
But,
damn thing.
I don't know. I mean, he's your friend.
It's true. We can ask him about him next time we see him.
If I remember.
Alright. There she goes.
That's a Sinishi we love.
Okay. So,
Alright.
okay, so now we see him. Like, go the way, see him. And since I'm bored as fuck and have been bored as fuck, I'm gonna try to follow him.
Like secretly
Oh
follow?
Lord.
Not really, no.
I've seen Tartan do this 100 times. It's easy. I just do this.
I don't think Sinishi would.
So you're just gonna go and then just turn around and follow.
I'm gonna try to be a little bit sneaky about
Alright,
it.
give me a stealth
yeah,
check.
I'm gonna be.
Where was that clip with a Kronk? Kronk. Where was that?
Ooh.
Hold on. So
Ooh.
I see her turning to follow,
Oh,
Do you
beautiful.
say anything to Grelda?
Hell no. Don't say anything.
You're going about you
went inside.
Like you went in. Yeah,
Alright,
I waited
so
until you went inside.
what would
Oh, you wait
Grelda
until I
do?
went inside.
No, I say well because you two are walking together.
Yeah.
So if Sanishi turned around and started like you would be walking and all of a sudden Sanishi goes the other way.
Yeah, I would
So what would
definitely
Grelda-
notice and be like,
Yeah, like
Boy.
you as you're going in the door,
what?
I'm turning around to go the other way
yeah.
and follow this.
So I do feel like I would notice that and be
Yeah.
like, what's going on?
Sanishi, are you following that guy?
Alright, so Sanishi turns around, Grelda asks
Oh, well,
Words.
he just left. He left the stable just now. Like we returned 7 horses, and he just left the stable now.
you only rented 5 horses.
It's fine. She thinks
But
it's
we
fine.
returned 7.
I haven't done anything with it. So.
Do you have any idea what's in it?
We returned 5
It's empty.
horses.
He's probably going
I
home,
don't
don't
think
you
there's anything in
think?
It's been under 5 minutes. How could he have curried, picked and done all that horse shit in this time? I don't know much about horses. I like my feet,
I
but
know there's a lot of horse shit though.
we had them for days. There's like that hoof picking and like all that hair brushing
And the
Is it
horse
that?
shitting.
and like
All that horse shit.
that shit that humans do with their horses.
Everyone does, not just you.
Like everyone does. I mean,
And some of the birds.
Sometimes. This seems to be worrying you less.
I'm just confused.
Would you like to? I'm not gonna dedicate all night to this, but if you'd like, I can accompany you for a wee bit.
I mean, I won't say no.
Yeah, right.
I stand out.
Sweet.
Alright.
I'm just going.
You already did a stealth check. Grelda, give me a stealth check.
I see that Sanishi's being stealthy, and this is odd enough that I
Yes,
pause and also be stealthy.
Sanishi is not normally stealthy, so it is definitely out of the norm. No, I mean Sanishi doesn't usually even
Yeah.
attempt it. The
Yeah.
fact that Sanishi is attempting
Yes.
to be quiet is,
I went into
is
a semi-crouch.
I know, right? And whereas I have attempted to be stealthy, and then Sasha's handle has like banged with every
Yeah.
step. So, alright, yes.
Up my stealth
Here he is.
abilities too.
Yeah.
What'd you get?
23.
23?
Oh, holy crap!
Wow, you're like a ninja. All right,
Can
so
I roll help
you
for both of us?
you almost walk in the door of the Rusty Dragon, and you both kind of turn and kind of have this conversation together, and you see him. I guess like I can. Oh yeah, if you look on there, so the Rusty Dragon
Yeah.
and the Goblin Squash tables are right there.
Yeah.
So you let's add this. There we go. He walks down this way, makes a hard left, and you follow him, and both of you are almost surprised at how you're able to find every shadow. And he does not turn, he does not look, he is whistling as he is walking. He seems like stupid.
Can I just hope that what's-his-face, the young kid, is like, whoa. Like super impressed with us right now.
But try him a sneaking. So he walks down here, and you see him actually into the sawmill right here. He stops at the door, kind of looks at the moon, pushes the door open, and heads inside.
It doesn't look like a whorehouse, so Grelda is just...
It is like you would know.
A dude could be in a hurry and cheerful
No,
on his
you
way to a
would
whorehouse.
know that it is the sawmill of Sandpoint. Like it is a legit operation. It saws logs. Like it is.
He got some logs in these saw, know what I mean?
I was just
Saying
waiting for
sleeping?
the it's all saws mills.
No.
I was really waiting for that.
Saws mills.
So for a brief, just a butterfly flutter of a moment, Grelda considers letting the rest of the group know and then dismisses it as foolishness.
Like one does.
Like one does.
Like one Grelda does.
No, it doesn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So when you see him enter,
So I turn and I'm like, you know what? That was suspicious.
That's
You've got good instincts.
yeah, that's weird.
We should check it out
The
some more.
fact that she has good instincts, I agree.
That is weird. I agree. Meanwhile, back at the bar, another says to her, "That's fucking weird."
Icky Sneaky's feathers flutter as that butterfly thought crosses Grelda's mind.
But, so, you agree it's weird? What?
Yeah. I think we should go check it out. I mean, the two of us.
And we're already in stealth mode, so Grelda's not going to go knock on the door because stealth mode has already been engaged.
So what is Grelda gonna do?
Examine, like, are there any clues as to anything about this that makes it not look like a sawmill? Any signs of other people? Is anything going on inside? That kind of thing. Like,
Give her a perception check.
I want to get in on
Both
this
of you,
one,
yeah. Both of you, no, it would be both of you. You can't. This wouldn't be a help one. This would be both of you.
definitely not.
Try.
Oh dear. Let's hope you do well.
Oh!
Uh-oh.
There appears to be a building.
Alright, I don't even know. Like,
no, I rolled a 1.
you rolled a 1?
I rolled a 1.
Oh, I rolled a 2.
She doubled that.
Oh!
Do you get a plus?
So, you,
Does it matter?
you
I have
look,
+1.
you are able to notice the sawmill is currently, it's still running. Like, you can,
okay.
you can see that the water wheel on the outside is turning. You're like, oh, it's still going.
That's
You look around,
dangerous.
you're like,
And late.
he's in there. Alright, it's dark. Alright. And that's about it.
The alcohol has taken full effect now.
No.
There's 2 sawmills.
There's just sawmill. I'm gonna go on the left one.
I'll go to the left one, you go to the
take
right
the
one,
right
it's
one.
inside.
There's only
How
one.
confused? Yeah, how confused are you? Maybe there's 2 doors.
That's what rolling a 2
Alright,
instead of
so-
a 1 gives you.
You both kind of look around and you don't notice anything out of the ordinary.
Well, other
Without
than it's like 10 o'clock and it's still running?
I don't know anything about sawmills.
I don't either, but that seems weird. I don't know. I
Are
don't
they
know how it
looking
works either.
inside or are they just looking
They're
outside?
still
staring
outside.
at the
They
outside
said
of the
they're
building.
still outside.
I haven't thought about a sawmill this
All
much
right.
ever.
So at
Grelda,
this point,
is
Grelda looks
really
to see
weird.
if there's any other entrances that aren't windows.
There is the door that he went in, which is kind of on the southern side, and you see that there is another that's like a single door, and you see on the western side there is larger, like a set of double doors.
Are there any windows that are at ground? I mean, at dwarf level.
At door level,
Dwarf
level.
Dark level.
There are 2 windows on each side that are at the first floor level. I wouldn't really say they're at dwarf level.
Would you say Grelda could see them without some sort of stool or barrel to
No.
stand upon?
Do you want me to get you a box?
Or stand upon.
Yeah. Hey, can you look inside that window for me?
I can pick you up, or we can both look inside it.
That sounds very good.
Toss me!
Do you want me to find describe
Toss me
it
to the
you?
window.
Should I find
Alright,
you a box?
so-
Strength check.
No, I
Don't tell
wouldn't
the
even
half
make
elf.
you do that. Give me another perception check since you're
God.
looking inside.
That one, oh, that's a 10. So I think that makes it an 11.
Oh my god.
I percepted things this time,
How'd you
maybe.
get a -12?
Is that a 1 again?
No, it's a 2 this time.
It's a 2?
I have
Alright.
doubled it. But
Well,
that brings me to a 5 total.
Grelda leans forward, like as she's being held up, like on the hip, like a baby. She leans forward and her breath kind of fogs it up, so she's like. She's trying to clear it. She's trying to look, but she's not. She doesn't realize that her breath is fogging it up, so she keeps trying. So she doesn't. You don't see anything.
This is in character even if I
And
have
that's-
20.
True.
But Sanishi, looking in as Grelda's like. You see Davern Hosk in the main floor.
Is that
There
the horse
is-
guy?
That's the guy they saw enter. Davern Hosk. On the main floor, you see there is kind of a to the east side. There is a chute that goes down. That would be where the saw would be, because you can make the connection in your head that is connected to the water wheel outside, and
I
then
was
you
going to call it a fun water slide, but then you said there was a saw.
there's a
Yeah,
saw at the
it's
bottom.
like, no,
Like you
that's-
can see the chute that goes down, and just knowing it's a sawmill and knowing there's a water wheel, you're able to put 2 and 2 together. Even you? No. You're able to put 2 and 2 together.
Of
You
the
see,
2 of us, you're the smart one.
you do see Stavern. He's basically standing in the middle of the floor with his hands on his hips, just kind of like his toe is tapping, and he's just kind of looking around, and he's obviously waiting for something. How long are you gonna look in the window?
All of it.
What do you see, lass? This window's a weird one.
I mean, I'm gonna.
Like, I don't see anything. I don't see anything. What can I say?
The next time I just draw 2 eyes and an angry face.
So, how long are you two gonna sit at the window?
I'm gonna relay what I see.
Okay.
And I kind of want to duck down so that since he's looking around in there, he doesn't see me at the window.
Okay.
Which means I lose my excellent vantage point.
Yeah. So
The hip.
sorry, not sorry. It's
All right.
it was
Sorry.
doing a lot of good.
So, are you gonna stay at the window, or are you?
Um.
Basically, that like even if you duck down, so you're kind of hiding. Basically, I'm looking for how long you're gonna stay there.
Yeah. It's like okay.
1 minute, an hour. Like, are you gonna wait until you see something happen, or are you just gonna be like, this is boring, I'm gonna leave?
At this point, Grelda is very curious, so she's likely to stay.
Okay, yeah, so that's what I wanted to talk with Grelda before. Because, okay, so... what is he waiting for? You know him?
I don't know what... We're here because we don't know what he's waiting for.
Oh, right.
Yes. Alright.
Right.
Hey, baby.
Sorry if my
That's all right,
shout
go on.
woke you up.
Yeah, you're fine. It's,
We can hang out here. See?
Like I said, I'm not gonna stay here all night. I trust the guy. I don't think this is anything shady, but he's a little weird. And I lost it already. Fuck away!
I like the Russian version better. We have a Russian Grelda instead. Run out.
Southern Grelda could stick.
It's
Everything
Scottish, Russian, and Southern. It just flows
Grelda's from
freely
everywhere.
between the three of them.
Should I go with the Scottish in here?
Else. World
They
traveler,
are.
Grelda.
So sad that she's not here for
Oh,
it.
yes.
They're so good.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, like, I'm more concerned about, like, who's gonna meet him at this time of night in a
Goblins.
mill? It doesn't seem like a safe situation. There's, like, a hole. A death hole right there.
Seems a little goblin-y, if you ask me.
It would be fun to shove goblins down there. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Oh my god. Brother, we have to ask
Should get out.
Captain if he can let us shove
You know, I actually think that would be kind of fun.
Right?
So remember that.
Yes.
But I don't wish. Fuck away. I have no desire. I can't do it. I'm
No,
sorry.
just roll with
Yeah,
whatever
okay.
accent comes
I
out.
have no desire to betray this man's trust. He's my friend. However, if he's in trouble, we go in.
Yes.
And if I get too tired, I leave.
I agree.
The
So-
Russia accent has you.
But so
Girl takes
since
another
he's
swig of vodka.
waiting for somebody.
There could be many reasons. There could be good reasons. There could be bad reasons.
No. Yes.
He could have a lady friend.
Oh, that would be embarrassing.
Or a gentleman friend.
Or a goblin friend.
They die.
I'm pretty sure he wouldn't with Goblin in the ears.
What's great is she starts having a conversation with nobody.
The real. They will see us here if they walk up. Where do we go?
I know,
Yes, it
I'm
really
like
is.
suddenly impressed, but I'm not there.
She's learning from you, but you don't know.
Well, I am a soldier. I do have some military background.
Perfect.
The
Which
Mickey's feathers
means there
tingle
is
again.
an element
We're
of
like-
hiding and like to
Why
lay
do
a
your
bit of a
feathers keep doing that?
siege.
All right, is there? Do we notice any like boxes or barrels nearby that we could hide behind? Like move? Sorry,
Whoa,
Sean's
whoa, whoa.
distracted. Whoa
No,
there.
I'm waiting for you guys to figure out. Sorry.
I asked if there were any boxes or barrels nearby that we could kind of move so we could hide behind them.
Not outside
Not
of the
outside?
sawmill, no.
And it looks like the back end of the sawmill really is sort of a death drop into water.
It is right on the banks of that is the Tarandarok River is what runs.
Spoosh.
Can we hide behind this other house next to it?
You can absolutely try.
Fuck away! What do you say we try hiding behind that house next to
Well-
this one?
How?
We're not there.
No, no, okay.
Brilliant.
What's up? I think you're referring to this one. Sorry.
Nope.
Up here?
Actually, I thought we were on this side of it, so I was talking about.
You guys were kind of on this side of it. The opposite side of the river.
Well, because we came from here,
You
so I
came
assumed
down
we
here
went this
and
side.
up here.
Yeah, and then I assumed we went to the side.
You were
of the
kind of
building.
right here because he entered on this way.
Oh,
and
okay,
this is
okay.
kind of the door that you were looking at.
Then I think if this is the door he went in, we would want to have a visibility into that door. So
Okay.
whatever building we attempted to hide behind should be able to see the door.
Okay.
I
Give
know
me a
they're
stealth
not
check.
there, but isn't it like
Both
super
of you.
dark out?
It is the like
Every
middle
one of
the
us has dark vision except for me.
night. Yep.
Coin.
Yep. Yes. I changed my
These
die.
coins
Oh.
back.
I'm pretty sure that you just keep like touching the one.
Oh, perfect.
It is. Yeah, you've been. No, he gives you a new one each time. You said you were gonna basically slowly bleed him dry of his money.
Oh, right. Thank you.
One
yes.
silver at a
One
time.
copper.
Copper at a time. What was that?
20.
20? Tanisha?
11.
11? You guys, this time, Grelda is on your hip. Like
I am
maybe you
no
kind of
longer
like
on the hip,
No, I was
come
gonna say
on.
on her hip because Grelda's a dwarf
put my
and
Grelda
Tanisha
on my-
is a half goblin, very tall. So she kind of
Oh my god!
You owe me so much
wow.
for that.
Don't leave him.
Ah.
We need him. We need him. No, we need him. No, we need him. We need to keep him alive.
Grelda
the
does
half
need to
orc.
defend you.
Yeah. No, the half orc puts Grelda down, and then Grelda is actually the one that leads to a very shadowy place.
Racist.
A corner. And you both kind of sit there, you find just a little bit of an alcove, and you wait. And about 10 minutes later, down the, not the path that you came from the south, but from the west, you see a figure start to move down towards the sawmill. And this figure actually goes in the same door that Davern went in, so basically goes right in front of you without seeing you. You notice that it is a woman, early 20s, long red hair.
It's Nualia.
Nobody would actually recognize her because you might recognize her, but you're not there. So it is not somebody that you particularly recognize. She goes to the door, looks around, and then goes inside.
I have to admit, that doesn't look good.
I mean,
Or does it? look
unless
good?
he's into redheads.
I want to say something really bad right now just to cheese you off, but Grelda would never say it, so I won't.
Good.
I think I have an idea where you're going with that. Alright, so once you see her enter,
Grelda agrees at this point. Okay, that's at least a little weird. There's definitely some sort of shady meeting going on here. So the fluttery butterfly thought comes back. Do you think? Are you concerned enough to tell the rest of the group yet? You think?
I mean, it could, like, he's a handsome.
He's a bit of an uber groomer, really.
Oh my gosh. What? He's not a dwarf. He's just a human.
Oh, I mean, he could be handsome in human eyes. It could still just be a tryst.
Tall equals handsome.
Look, I don't notice height.
Good.
Whoa, my bad.
I just don't want
height.
somebody who stares at who's at nipple height as opposed to, like, head height. Not my fault.
God,
I'm
we
not
just
there.
had
Carry
this.
on.
Like, not my fault. Humans are shorter.
I think he's tall for a human, but I could be wrong. I don't recall because I
he's
don't know
about
his height.
6'2", 6'3".
So he's a well-fed human.
Yes. Well-fed, well-drunk human.
He's well watered.
That's how humans grow.
It is.
You give them
Kind
beer.
of like gnomes. You put them in the garden. You just
And Oreos. There you go.
This,
Alcohol and
Huh.
Oreos.
This headcanon
All right,
how dwarves
so-
are born is the best thing I've ever
So
heard.
do
It
you know
really
their
is.
job by what kind of hat pops up before you...
Alright, Lassel. You were the one who thought we should follow. Would you like me to, or would you like to go back and tell the group?
Well,
What was that?
I mean,
Okay.
should we at least take another peek in the window? I think we should
You
take
just
another
move my
peek in the
laptop
window.
I wasn't so helpful with peeking in the window. I could be spending this time going and talking to the group.
I suppose. That is true.
I'm also not very fast.
This is also true.
Maybe you'd get back there faster if she tossed you.
Just the dwarf.
Wow.
Does that mean the same
rude.
thing as...
Alright, so
No.
what do you guys
So-
do?
I mean, honestly, Grelda does have respect for your military training. There's a lot of stuff she doesn't have respect for, but that's not it.
Okay, I will stay here and keep an eye on things and an ear. I assume the mill's not noisy? Or is the mill making noise?
It's
right
not.
now? I mean,
No, it's not making much noise. The water wheel is still turning,
Okay,
but, since
like,
there's
if
you
somebody
don't
were
hear
to-
any wood actually being cut.
Okay, so like if someone were to scream, I'd be able to hear.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Alright. Lass. I know you've got the bloodlust in you. Can I ask you? Unless there's something really bad happening, you wait for us.
Yep.
Bless you, lass.
I will stay here. I will wait for a scream. I probably won't try to take a peek. I might trip without you.
As the first sound of a goblin, she rushes in.
Well, if there's a goblin in there, let's be honest, we would all understand. Okay, so Grelda accepts her word
Okay.
and non-stealthily at
I've seen it. I've heard about it. I haven't seen it.
medium speed to fast speed once she gets kind of farther away. Makes her back.
Heads to the White Deer Inn. Alright, is Sanishi, are you just gonna sit and watch from your vantage point, or would you move up? Just so I know.
You made no promises to Grelda on that score.
I did not. I think I'm gonna settle in and mostly just watch from this vantage point. I feel pretty safe here.
Alright, then while this is going on, we will switch back over. The other three of you were dropped off at the White Deer Inn. You enter. You notice the same bartender is behind the bar. You do see about 4 patrons. There are 2 sitting at the bar on opposite ends, both like leaned over, and then there are 2 at a table kind of opposite the door where you came in, a round circular table, just sitting there talking.
Can you remind me, is the White Deer Inn where we got this job from?
Yes.
Or like, why did we go? Okay.
That's why you're going back.
Okay.
And they have really, really, really good alcohol.
Yeah, Icky
Oh, yeah.
goes to the bar and orders one of them beers.
As they're doing that, I'm taking 3 rounds to dump 3 spells into the ring.
Okay, which spells?
Do I have to tell you
Yes.
and everyone?
Yes.
Well, you don't have to tell us, but you have to tell him.
3 cure wounds. Not that I have that.
Which
Cure wounds level 1.
level? Okay.
Not that I have that. I'm not a healer. I don't cast
Definitely.
spells. I don't cast spells. I don't have any magical talents whatsoever that I don't understand that just came out of nowhere.
Okay.
In the
Then
level
okay,
3.
then what are okay? So you dump that into there.
Yep. Because it should only take 3 rounds to do.
All right, so Icky is walking up to the bar. What do the rest of you do?
I go up and get a. What was it that was so good here? Beer?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can't
they
remember
had
the
that one
name.
beer that was amazing.
The bartender
Their ciders were
leaning
shit
back
though.
again.
They were.
He's a fairly tall, very dark skinned, clean shaven, kind of rotund bartender. He leans back.
Wait,
Light or dark?
is this the bar with the fish tank?
No.
No. Different one.
No.
Different one.
Dark.
Light or dark?
Dark, please.
Dark.
Dark.
Dark. Are you with them?
Yeah. But I wait for them to place their orders and then say, blah, 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 good neighbors got a delivery to make.
Alright, hold on a second. He reaches under, 2 tankards, slides them over to both of you. Alright, go with me. He walks into the back room, leaves you 2 at the bar.
Is there like a fireplace?
There is a hearth. As you enter the bar, the actual bar is on the left side. Seats about 12. In front of you, there's 4 very long tables. Sit about, I would say, 15 on each side, and then 2 on each ends.
Wow.
And then to the right, there is a couple of steps up, and there's kind of like a raised platform with 7 smaller round tables that seem to be nicer. And on the where that step up is, if you follow that to the end, there is a large hearth. It's probably 8 feet across, 6 feet. Like it is a large hearth, and it is lit. And there are 2 round tables in front of it with some chairs around both.
And that's where we saw those people, or they were somewhere else?
They were at the end of one of the long tables, kind of sitting next to each other.
So there's nobody real close to the fireplace then?
No, not real close. No.
So I take my beer and just kind of casually walk towards the fireplace.
Mickey stays at the bar.
Okay. Alright, then when you go to the fireplace, the chairs are facing the tables with the backs to the fireplace, so you grab one, kind of turn it towards the fireplace, and sit. They're kind of high backed, especially for you. They're over your
We're actually normal
being
back.
a gnome. It is like you turn it and you sit and you just vanish. Can't even see you between the chair.
Perfect.
Okay. Alright, then Tarnan, the bartender takes you back along into the path through the kitchen into the next room, which is the storage room, to the storage shelf. You do notice that the 2 items that were there before that he fiddled with are no longer there. He puts his hands on both sides of the shelf, taps it twice, and says, "Got a friend." And then takes his hands off. Wait a second, and then you see the whole thing shift.
As we're walking, I ask him, any word from Dear Nora and Fennec? They made it back already?
Why don't you wait? And then he just kind of points down, turns around, and walks away.
I love how done with the world this character is. Like, he's just over all of it.
He's waiting for everything to burn. The whole planet's gonna erupt in flame, and he's gonna be sitting back with one of his own beers
I fucking knew it.
and something he can roast.
Called it.
So as the storage shelf slides to the side, you do see the stairwell that goes down, similar to like what you had seen before.
Before I walked down, I said, just one more thing. If I wanted to compliment you, or get you something that would make you, at least smirk instead of always be dour, what would that be? Oh God, don't even breathe that hard.
You don't have enough money for that kind of a question.
You
And
don't
he turns
know
around and
much.
walks.
Yeah,
just-
as he's
no,
walking,
he just-
as he's walking away, I still say, "You have no idea how much I have," and then I walk away.
Okay.
Down I go.
All right.
Which one are you fondling and which one's holding?
All right. So you get to the open room, and actually,
Oh, that's the thing. Listen.
you what? You get to the you get
Their
to
keys again?
Very
the
close.
two keys. You get to the open room. There is the same table that they were playing cards at before. However, this time there are 3 people. All 3 of them you recognize. One is a very large, burly Caucasian male, like white male. He stands up, and the other 2 are Dear Nora and Fennec, and they are leaned over the table, and they're both holding cards, and they kind of look, and. Oh, look what it is! I was wondering if you were going to show up. Oh, I was so worried.
I was too. I was
Is
concerned. I
it
even
just
asked
you?
upstairs.
Did the rest of them come too?
2 of them are upstairs. 2 of them are turning their horses back in.
Oh, that is good. I was very worried.
Well, thank you for your concern. I appreciate that.
Oh.
I'm glad to see
Did,
you guys as well.
Did Grelda make it?
Oh yeah.
Does she still have the serums
Yes, she
for
does.
the hair?
As far as I know, she does.
Has she used them yet?
I don't know because we hadn't stopped yet.
There's no bathing. That's
We
happened.
hadn't stopped for a bath.
Oh, that's a shame. Her hair was like straw. That's why I gave them to her. Is she up there now?
No, she's actually one of the ones turning in the horses. She knows the gentleman who runs the stable, so she's gonna smooth things over.
Tell her to use them tonight.
Tonight.
They will make a difference by the time she wakes up tomorrow.
Okay, I'll let her know as soon as I see her.
All right.
I'm just.
And he just like he just kind of looks down at the table, just like you can see that's just like the look of disappointment on his face. It's like, and he just like goes inward. But it was like straw. Why wouldn't she use it? And he's just like dead to the world. He's just in his own mind. And then
I pat him on the shoulder like.
then Finnick looks up. He sets down his cards and kind of looks at you. So
You play with that hand?
did you? His cards are down.
Oh.
Did you what did you do with the fucking marshal?
I let him.
No, like fighting or anything. You let him walk.
Oh, I scared the bejesus out of him. Told him that we were the representatives of that brother. Fuck, what was the brotherhood's name? Those brothers. What?
No, there's somebody else.
No, it was the
Brotherhood
Irving
of Fuckoy!
No, that wasn't
Yeah.
either.
boys. Irving boys.
Yes. I told him we were representatives of the Irving boys, and that if he disappeared, it would probably be better for himself.
How long did you have him before you let him go?
Half hour.
Just so you know, Fenton a little put off that you took him. So when you go in there, I'd mention that that you let him go. That's one of the first things I'd mention, just so you know.
He's put off that we took him.
Yeah.
Did you get a sense for why?
When he mentioned not to hurt anybody, I was kind of along with it. He didn't really want you to fuck with anybody there. He just wanted you to get the book and go. So
You were there,
yeah,
Fenton. You know that it was
I
necessary for
was
to carry him around. We didn't.
I just make sure that you when you walk in, tell him that you didn't bring him back. 'Cause he was like I say, wasn't very happy about that.
All right.
Right.
I toss
He's,
the gold on the table and say, just to sweeten the pot for whoever wins the next hand. Have a good night, gentlemen.
The larger man stands up, puts his hands out.
Oh yeah.
Fondling time.
Alright. You take everything out, pats you down. You trying to hide anything?
Nope.
Alright. Pats you down. Knocks 3 times at the door, waits a second.
I don't try to hide anything, but I wrap it up in a cloak and say, please don't go through all that shit. Please, just let it lie there. Thank you.
As long as you don't have anything on you.
Nope. Here, check it out.
No.
I got nothing.
Alright. Pushes open the door. But knocks 3 times, waits a second, push open the door. Inside the room, as he pushes open the door, you can see Fenton sitting where he was before. Right next to him again is the same gnome that was there, the extremely slender,
Was he like nervous?
yes, very short, very lanky, thick glasses,
yeah.
hair tied up in a tight ponytail on his head. He has a small ledger in his hand, and he's tapping against his hand as he looks at you. And he's basically, his entire body is shaking as he's tapping this in his hand, and he's just staring at you as you open the door. And Fenton is kind of leaning back. And then you see the same 2 guards behind him in the corners that were there before. And the door is open, and the bodyguard just kind of...
Acknowledge them with a nod, gentlemen. Go to the nearest chair and put my hand on it and look to Fenton for permission. Have a seat.
Seat.
Thank you.
So, it is another day more than I thought it would be, but it's good to see you back.
Took a little longer getting back just to be sure we weren't followed. Apologies. I know it was a rush delivery, but caution is sometimes needed.
But was it a successful
Oh,
delivery?
yes. I immediately take out the book and hand it to him and slide it across the table as far as I can.
He pulls it, kind of looks at it. This is the proper way to start a relationship. He sets it down, slides it over, kind of leans over, and you, like, he's talking low, but you can still hear. Get this to Brodert now. He will know what
Name?
it is about.
What was the name again?
Brodert. He will know what he needs to do. And he kind of pushes it. The gnome, being short, reaches straight over to the table, grabs the book, pulls it to his chest. Right, all right, I'll be right back. Okay. And then he kind of turns and starts very quickly shuffling off. I trust the job was worth it for you. What you found from the vault was proper payment.
I would have to, yeah. Yes.
Good.
You hand such lucrative jobs out to newcomers. I can't wait to be part of the family, so to speak.
I will say most first-timers don't get jobs this difficulty or this payment, but you could not have come at a better time for you or for me by the success that this job turned out to be.
Like it was mutually beneficial. I kind of like to hear that. If you don't mind my asking, Are there more of these to recover, or do you already have these
These
books?
Books?
Yeah.
This is the only book that we are looking to recover. There have been other things recovered that will hopefully help us in our endeavor.
So you don't need any, you're not looking for anything else right now.
Not until we find out exactly how this book fits into the puzzle of the other things that we've grabbed.
Please understand, I'm just curious if there was more assignments as lucrative as this one was.
I am. Once Brodert adds this to what we've already given him, I will.
Brodert?
That's right. You've only been in town for about a week. I take it you have not spoken to the self-appointed smartest man in Sandpoint, eh?
I'm gonna guess no.
It's me.
Currently, it may be.
He's Brodert, Mr. Quink, is he's a very intelligent man. He helps us, especially with the things from ancient Thessalonia that this book and other things we've recovered come from. Sadly, he's not the only person that can read it, but he is the only person who can put the puzzle pieces together to help us. Kind of to help us stop the ascendant.
So you're out to stop somebody from doing something and not... I apologize, I thought you were trying to achieve something with these items.
Well, we would consider it an achievement if the Ascended, as I mentioned, took over just a few years ago. I believe, not everybody agrees with me, but I believe he is trying to become a god.
And
I heard goat at first. I'm so sorry.
God. He is not going to bow and...
He could be a goat god.
How do you feel
Those
about
do
him becoming
exist.
a goat?
The goat?
be a goat
if he
god.
became a goat, he might be the goat.
Actually, there's no promises. Maybe he will become a goat god.
Baumann, the god of goats.
Sorry,
Okay,
sorry.
anyway. Okay, back. As I said, when the Ascended took over, the things he had us do, or wanted us to do, was
Don't match up with
Evil.
what you're...
pure, just evil. And if a man or a person who wants to do these things wants to become a god,
Doesn't
I
work.
feel I have a moral obligation to stop them.
Better be careful, I'm starting to like you.
Is he wearing a tracksuit? Because I'm just
No,
picturing-
he's definitely I used the Russian mob star as the basis for the voice, but he is not wearing. There's no gold chains. There's no thick chest hair.
Oh, come on. There's got to be the thick chest hair.
Not that you can see.
You're not there,
You talk him
I mean,
out of his
you
clothes, and you
definitely
can see
can't.
Well, I
what's there.
can't see it.
Currently,
No,
and Tarna's not interested, so...
No.
Sanishi rolls for seduction.
It's a distance thing.
It might be for her.
Hey, I think you're sexy. What's my stealth at now?
If there's more I can do to be of assistance and at the same time advance my own team's prowess, let us know.
it depends on what Brodert gleans from this book and what he can take from it to put into the puzzle he's already started to assemble.
As I'm sure you're aware, most of us are staying, if not all of us, are staying at the Rusty Dragon. Feel free to leave a message if you need to contact me.
If I have need of you for this, hopefully I will know in the next week or so. Brodert is thorough, but the fact that we have this book and the Ascended does not is
a very large step in the right direction. That is why the timeline was moved up as quick as it was. I was hoping to have another 6 months to plan this job, but we got news that the Ascended had learned of its location. So if it had been another week, it might not have been there anymore. So it is very fortuitous that you came when you did.
So my next question is, how much of a danger is that to my team?
I guess it depends on exactly how the job went. If nobody saw you, it is no danger. If everybody saw you, it could be some danger.
The marshal is the only one that saw us, and he did make it out.
This is, Fenton and Nero mentioned this. I was very worried that you would bring this marshal back to Sandpoint. Knowing that I know Finnick told you that the wizard had scrying as an ability. If you would have brought the marshal back to the White Deer Inn, he might have been able to figure out that he was here. And I do not know what that would have led to. So, where is the marshal now?
In the wind. Last time I saw him, he was bound and battered, but alive, and apparently, someone remind me the name of the group that had him, the what boys?
The what?
Irving boys.
The Irving boys had him for owing money and something else, and I had convinced the marshal that we were a messenger from them. Should throw the track onto the Irving boys, not on you, not on me.
The fact is we haven't seen anybody come in this general direction would speak to the fact that this was successful. I will say I was slightly concerned when I heard that you grabbed the marshal, just because of the added heat it could have put on us, but I am glad you came to your senses. So, overall, I am very pleased with the direction that our little arrangement has gone.
As am I.
So, I'm hoping that Broderick gets started on a book tonight, sometime in the next week or so. I'm hoping that we have something to work on. We need to be a step ahead of the Ascended. It is what I care about right now.
It sounds like something I'd like to be part of to help prevent.
With the skill of your group, if your group is still interested, once it comes, I will look to you first. I very much I know how to use the assets I have, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not too proud to admit that your group's skills exceeds the skills of the others that are in this town. So, thank you. And I believe we have something for you. You had a question.
I did. 3 days' time is quite quick.
Well, I couldn't. I can't guarantee how much information he has, but Eustace was the one that I put on the job. What do you have?
And the whole time you've been talking, he hasn't been looking at you at all. He's just been picking his fingers with his dagger. He looks up when his name is mentioned. He's forward.
Right, so this is the individual that Mr. Fenton had asked me to find. I went and looked for the individual, and I was not able to figure out if this particular person was the one that you had mentioned, or if it was just somebody similar to it. Nobody's really seen the Ascended. Every time he goes into a meeting, he wears a mask and a big robe. He fits the general height and overall build that you had mentioned, but I don't know if it's a him. Never seen the face. The mask is very creepy. Super white. And the robe is purple. And it just, the way he carries himself, it's very, very weird. Very
Like he's trying to cover burns, maybe?
Or maybe he's just super ugly. I don't know.
Well, that's also true. Okay.
But that's all I have for right now. If I learned anything more, I'll let you know. It was a short amount of time. My people only move so fast.
I appreciate
How much
your
higher
efforts.
can you go?
I don't know. We'll find out. See how much longer the
All
conversation
I gotta
will
do
take.
is ask another question.
That sounds like a ceiling.
I can see.
Meh. I'm just gonna lean back. That's all I got.
He goes back to his smartphone.
Looking at his fingers. Yep.
Smartphone
I
of the day.
am.
Do you recall the request that you had of Fenton during your last big conversation?
Which one? The one where he gives me the information? No. What other
You
one?
offered him the job to help kill the demon thing in return for monies.
Nope, it was just you offered a share of.
The gold.
You offered to tell him where the gold thing was
Yep.
in order in return for an
Cannon fodder.
undiscovered share.
Oh, I thought it was in return for cannon fodder
Nope.
to assist. No?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
No,
Fair
I
enough.
just
He's
wanted
just
that.
like he's
got the
Tarnan
gold
just
for
said
us.
that he had the location of something very valuable.
Gotcha. Okay.
But he didn't seem interested. So.
Well, he said you needed to be friends first. You seem friendly now.
No, we're only associates.
Oh, I'm sorry. All
I was
fine.
just told I was an asset, not a friend.
You are a huge asset.
Can be both.
So
Can you
if
do the feather thing for me? Because I don't have feathers to do that with. Can you do the feather? Thank you.
If Eustace happens to find any more information, I will get a hold of you. If Broder Twink manages to find a connection, I will get a hold of you. As long as you are up for another job, I'm sure I will find something for you.
Shot in the dark here. Are there any goblin camps nearby that need clearing out?
There was, but a very random group of adventurers managed to burn it to the ground. I don't know who these people might be, but the smoke could be seen for miles.
Yeah, that wasn't so subtle.
Subtle is not the word I would use.
No.
Thorough is the word I would
Yeah.
use. We can say that nobody has seen a goblin since, so they are scattered to the wind.
Fair enough.
There is never an end to the little fuckers, but
I know. Certain
I would
member
not
of-
say there is a concentrated camp now.
certain member of my party is just itching to unleash because it's her hobby to tear the little fuckers apart.
Damn it, Grilda.
Well, I hope she had fun on.
Oh yes, she
At
did.
the time, because I think she might have cleared out most of what is around.
Not as much as you might think.
Okay. Well,
I will also request that the next time I sign you up for a job, I would like to meet the rest of this group that you work with if we are going to continue to go down the this path of
Please tell me.
companionship. I want to I like to know who I work with, and now that the first job is complete, before the second job begins,
might
I would like to at least meet these people.
breakfast at the Rusty Dragon tomorrow.
If I am going to meet people, I prefer to meet them in this room for the first time. See, after that, maybe. But the first
How
meeting
about-
needs to be here.
How about upstairs?
The first meeting needs to be in this room, or I cannot promise there will be more jobs. I need to know who I work with, and I need to meet them here for the first time. just something for you to stew on between now and whenever the next job might pop up.
Fair enough.
Who are you most concerned about? Yes! I beat Sanishi in irritating our leader.
It's not irritation. It's like, why are we dealing with these low-life thugs? We need to kill them all right now! Grrr! And Sanishi would just like, yeah, okay. and that's, I mean, 2 out of the 5 go at it, and Icky's gonna be like, well, if I don't help Grelda, I don't get beer. So now he's in on it.
Technically, Grelda the real leader, is what I'm hearing.
I mean, someone starts killing, I'm down.
He says, until I get more information, that is all I have.
Same. Thank you again for the opportunity and for the profitable start of a relationship.
Well, good. I have to say, I have a vague idea of what you got, and I must say, we both profited equally off of this particular endeavor, so thank you.
Does he have any idea what we got?
Because
Fenton had been there before.
Finnick was with you the whole time.
Oh, the whole time?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Remember, he was with you. Okay.
Why did we kill him?
Because people.
Oh,
Just
Because dwarf.
No, you're good. You heading upstairs?
Tomorrow. See you later. Bye. Bye. Good night. Good night.
I
Bye.
came down to drink and now I'm drunk, so I'm good.
Well, that's half of D&D.
That is half of
That's
D&D
half.
right
You're
there.
basically part of the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Shit, you might as well roll a character
That's
now.
most of the work right there.
I'm
That's a few weeks. Only a couple more weeks, and you will be playing a character, baby. Mwah.
It's fun.
Only the blurry half.
No, that'll be good.
Yeah. Your sister-in-law
So,
is looking
be
forward to it too.
alright, so when you get up there, to solidify our new arrangement, let's just say for the rest of the day, the drinks are on the house. You have 2
Think these
hours.
feathers
Enjoy.
Challenge accepted.
You have no idea. Have you ever met an Oracocra?
Yes, actually.
Arakokra.
I will say,
It's pronounced Arakokra.
actually, have you ever been to their island?
I have not.
It's called Arakokra.
Island. Island.
If I know one of your members is an Arakokra, you should ask him about his island. It is, I hear, it is beautiful.
Why would he choose to leave?
It is a question he will have to answer for. I will also say that I hear you found a very interesting individual in this fort. A companion that helped you a little bit for
Yeah.
a short amount of time.
Have you heard of this individual before?
Mary is intriguing. Let me just say,
Should I be concerned about her coming to look for us?
no, not in the way you are, not in a way that would concern you.
Fair.
Mary and Heka are,
Good.
they find ways to pop up in interesting situations, especially Heka.
But they're good neighbors.
Yeah, I trust them. This is not the first time that Mary has put her nose into our business, and it is never gone awry. So.
That is quite settling. Thank you.
As opposed to unsettling. I like it.
Is there anything else that you have?
No, I am quite satisfied, quite pleased.
All right. Enjoy your power hours.
And thank you again for that.
I suggested dark if you are going for quantity over quality.
I'll let the crew know.
Icky already figured that out.
Enjoy.
Thank you. Turner stands, acknowledges the 2 guards again, walks out, grabs his stuff, walks upstairs.
Oh, as you walk by, don't forget to tell her.
I will let her know.
And then you walk by, he goes, the straw is back. And then you walk up the stairs.
And I'm out. Icky. The guy downstairs that gave us a job said that you can't drink all the beer in this tavern. And he said, it's free if you can try, if you want to try to drink it all. But he said you should probably drink the dark first. I don't know if that's...
I'm ahead of you on that point.
Okay, so it's free and
So-
you're supposed to try to drink it all.
Challenge accepted.
Okay. Oh, and he can help if he wants. I mean, that's a free...
He'll basically just fill up from, like, getting the dribbles from your beak.
Oh, we have a symbiotic relationship.
No baby birding it. I'm sorry.
Nope!
College.
Turnip jukes! Oh god, that's disgusting! Oh, you guys are gross.
That was sooner than I expected.
Which part? That part or this part?
Both of them.
Oh god. Do you have something to get the taste out? Not the dark. Something. Just...
Got the light.
Okay, sure.
I'm not sure what I was expecting, to be honest.
It's like, is this the
Oh.
girl that walks in on then?
Pretty close.
Alright, so Tarnin comes back up.